We are live. Welcome to the Footballers Convention. Some special guests today for a special show, World Cup edition, Argentina versus Croatia. Gents, introduce yourself. Let the world know what you're about here.
Super excited to be here. Mark Rogandino, local soccer commentator, MLS, international soccer, whatever you want. But looking forward to having a good time. And this is going to be a fantastic game too, I'm telling you.
Yeah, Mr. Mas TV, looking forward to this game. Looking forward to see Messi try and kind of perform. He needs to. He needs to today. This is his chance.
Kevin Bowman. I'm also, of course, very excited to be here. I'm interested in Luka Modric, the real star player of this match.
Interesting.
Not true, but yeah, this is me. This is one of the better matches I think we've had so far in this cup. So very excited to see how it turns out.
Yeah.
Well, we don't even get through the introductions, and already we had the whistle, and we're underway, huh?
Here we
Nice.
go.
What player, let's say, maybe just say other than Messi. Let's get the elephant in the room out of the way. Other than Messi, I know Bowman's watching Modric. Who should we be keeping our eye on?
Wait, well, real quick, I don't think you didn't introduce yourself.
They're sick of me. Everyone knows Sevi Sanchez. I'm on the convention, trying to get someone better, but until then, I'll just be sitting right here.
I think for broader strokes, it's not actually for me a player. It's just how the two midfielders for each side are going to match up, right? Because really, Croatia is going to have 5, for all intents and purposes, in the midfield. They're going to try and overload Argentina and limit their possession. But so how do Meza, how does Messi, how do they adapt in there and find little pockets of space so that Aguero can get free up top is going to be the big question I'm asking.
Big time. Yeah, I think with Croatia, I think they've probably the best midfield in the tournament. They have a lot of players who can change games. I'm really looking forward to see how Perisic does as well. He's a player that can create a lot of chances, but they need to give him the ball. They need to get him involved in the game. Yeah.
Kevin, you said you're looking for Luka Modric, but I think you have to. The name that comes from me also right after that is Rakitic, and remember he knows exactly what Messi wants to do.
Exactly.
Those guys are teammates, so he knows exactly where he's going to try and find little pockets of space and probably little tricks where he's going to try and draw somebody out so that then all of a sudden he can run into some space. So we'll see how that plays out.
And on the flip side too, Rakitic is in a more defensive role, kind of in the defensive midfield, so
he
knows where Messi's going to be looking to go, kind of cut him off.
Be interesting to see how they actually play Croatia, because they obviously have a big guy up top in Mandzukic. Are they going to play the long ball into them, or are they going to get the midfielders to kind of come into the match a little bit more?
I think you have to. I think if you start playing Route 1 and you're Croatia, you're doing a disservice to your team, your identity, and what your strengths are, right?
You're kind of overpassing your best kind of feature in the midfield, yeah.
Any surprises, maybe Kovacic and Kramaric not getting the start today?
I'm surprised that Kramaric isn't in the side. He's done very, very well for Hoffenheim this season. I think they finished 3rd in the Bundesliga, which is one of their best finishes in a long time. He's a guy who can create a lot of chances. He can score as well. He's a different type of player to Mandzukic. But maybe they're looking for something a little bit different when they're playing against Argentina. The thing about Argentina, though, is that they're a little bit weak at the back. I'm not convinced by Taflico, I think his name is.
Rojo couldn't even get a start today. So.
Rojo, yeah. I mean, even Rojo, I don't think he's that great of a defender. Fazio is weak. He got dropped.
I think it's 3 changes to Argentina's 11, including, and correct me if I'm wrong, but Willy Caballero, he didn't start in goal. I don't think started the first game.
He was, I think, was he surprise start? He was there was a late scratch.
Late addition. Yeah. Okay. He doesn't always give me confidence either. Their
goalkeepers aren't great either. I mean, I think Caballero is kind of the best of a bad bunch. They have Romero in the side as well.
He didn't even. Did he play much even last season?
He didn't play for Manchester United. So I mean, that's another area that they're very weak in.
But even though they in their formation, as you guys have it up here, is 3 at the back. With Mascherano and Perez, those guys will almost dip back in, not just 2 sitting in front of the back 3, but they will dip in to make 4 at the back at times. So you can say it's 3 at the back, but they will definitely have guys coming out of the midfield to help defend.
Be interesting to see how Mascherano does. Oh, in the box. Oh, what's that a save?
Well, maybe hear what we were saying. You got a left hand on that.
Sorry, Willie. You heard us?
Free Willie!
Oh, that was a great save.
That was great.
GG, that was very good.
But I think coming from a wide position, that is where Croatia is going to find little channels that they can get into because of those three at the back. If they go and they hit in transition like that, they're going to find the space out wide in the 30 yards and in.
And they've got the passers to exploit that.
Exactly.
For sure. I mean, yeah, Modric especially, Kevin's guy, he's so crafty with the ball from that pivot point about 25, 30 yards out, finding little channels to put the ball into.
Do you think that there's going to be so much pressure on Argentina that they're not going to be able to perform to the level that they're capable of? Because, you know, there's a lot of pressure on Messi, obviously. But I don't know, I reckon if it's still 0-0 at half-time, 0-0 at 50 minutes, 0-0 at 60 minutes, they might kind of cave under the pressure.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be a huge part of it for sure, is how they adapt to the pressure. And does Messi let the game come to him right here? Does he try and get on the ball? Does he start checking back deeper than he needs to? I mean, because of the formation today, he's going to be further up the field. He needs guys like Mascherano to rob the ball in the middle and then play it to him where he can spring Aguero.
Are some of the expectations on Messi maybe a little unfair when you see Cristiano come out and score 4 goals and kind of throw it on the marker a little bit? Does that get in his head, make him feel like he has to do more than he really should or need to do?
What do you think, Matt?
I don't know. I mean, I think if we look at like Egypt the other day, they were playing against. Who were they playing against? Egypt. Russia, yeah, and like they kind of over-relied on giving the ball to Salah. I wonder, are Argentina going to do that with Messi? I don't know. If they do, I think they shouldn't.
I actually think Messi is going to star in this game today because of those expectations. Right. Because of all the talk that's been about Cristiano Ronaldo with 4 goals already, and
Is that Otamendi too?
Otamendi. It's got to be a card though, right?
You don't want to see that if you're Argentina. That's probably your best quote-unquote defender.
No card, but he definitely stepped on his toe right there.
Did. But I mean, looking at Argentina through the qualification for the World Cup, I mean, they lost against the likes of Ecuador. They lost against Bolivia. You know, these are teams that are not, you know, world class.
True.
They drew with Peru. You know, they came 3rd overall. They barely kind of scraped through to the automatic spots.
Yeah, but you would say Peru is a team that's on the uptick. Peru is a team that's getting better.
Yeah.
I mean, they used to never even hardly qualify.
Absolutely,
at a Common Bowl, and now they're a team that's in the conversation.
But if you look at man for man, Argentina versus Peru,
without question.
You know, like there's so many stars in that team.
I gotta say, I feel terrible for Peru. I thought they played well. I thought they outplayed Denmark.
Yeah, for
sure. And we can take a look at the stats later. I thought they went toe to toe with France. I mean, you can't say they dominated them, but they could have easily won that game. It could have gone either way. But now they're out.
Yeah, I mean, Sevi, that's the story of the World Cup, though, right? You know, I mean, Morocco, how well did they play? I think even in the very first game against Russia, Saudi Arabia was playing fantastic.
Passes,
They were fantastic the first 15, 20 minutes. And I was like, God, these guys are athletic. But then you saw how poor they were in defending. And all of a sudden the hole started to open up. And next thing you know, it's 5-0.
There's a few people in the chat. Pro Twist and Mr. Pixels. Hope you're well, lads.
Yeah, just Pro Twist, Mr. Pixels. Make sure you just follow us all on Twitter. We got to get those numbers up today. All right,
exactly,
Matt?
yeah.
I'm putting it on your shoulders.
Listen,
right?
No bother at all.
The masked devotees, it's strong. The Maskalites, they run deep.
The Maskies, yeah.
We're talking about the pressure that's on him because of how Ronaldo is doing, but just in terms of his old legacy as a whole, does he really need to? Because he's international. He's always kind of not performed up to his kind of par. Does he need that huge signature international moment in order to cement his legacy?
100%, yeah. But the other thing is this Messi's last World Cup? I think it might be.
How old is he now?
He's like 32, isn't it? Yeah, 32.
Early 30s, yeah.
So he's won everything with Barcelona, but like his true kind of like passion is for Argentina, and he's failed. Like he has failed in so many different finals for them. You know, he missed that penalty the other day against Iceland, and that kind of sums up his international career. You know.
Well, he's missed a lot of penalties.
Yeah. What is it like? He's missed 4 in 7 or something like that.
Something like that. Yeah.
That is incredible, like for a player of his ability.
Why wouldn't they just have Aguero take him?
Because then the story becomes Messi not taking penalties, and
but if they're winning, then are people complaining?
Argentina will find a story about anything.
That's
it
true.
doesn't help when every game El Diego's in there in the stands looking on with his legacy literally looming over Messi at any major tournament, any major game.
Do you reckon that adds to the pressure on Messi, the fact that Maradona's in the stadium?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And that's why, going back to Kevin's question, that's why Messi has to have success at the country level and not just at the club level for me.
Sure.
Because the Argentinian people are going to be all over him.
He's not even really that loved in Argentina the way Diego is, right? I mean,
No.
it's still. But yeah, having Maradona could be watching you tee off on the first tee, and that would put you off, wouldn't it? I mean, any time he's watching, it's got to add a little pressure.
I thrive under pressure.
Oh yeah,
I thrive under
you show him how it's
pressure,
done, huh?
Yeah.
Do you have a handicap in golf, or?
I do. I'm like
Yeah.
a 13 and a half.
That's very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, well done. Yeah.
What's the strength of your game?
120 yards and in. Yeah.
That's a pro's strength right there. That's what they say. They all practice.
Any of my buddies that'll tell you, they'll say, Rogan Dino, he's like an 18 off the tee, but he's like a 5 from 120
Okay.
in. So that's the only reason I can kind of save face.
So don't try to play your skins at pitch and putt, is what you're saying. You'll take my lunch.
I'm pretty
money.
comfortable with some wedges in my hand.
Pro Twist says Aguero over Messi. But the thing is, Pro Twist is a massive Manchester City supporter. So like he's a little bit biased, you could say.
But that would be great if Kun Aguero had a huge day today. You know, maybe a goal and an assist,
Sure.
or even just a goal. I mean, that would go a long way to taking some pressure off Messi. But I think the rest of the players around Argentina would kind of settle in a little better too. If someone else took the spotlight for a little bit this afternoon.
I'd nearly let Aguero take the penalties because, you know, he can bang them in. He has the record there for City. And again, it just takes that little bit of pressure off Messi in this game.
Well, what do you think about the lineup they picked, too? They kind of took away some of the star power that could take some of the pressure away. They have Mesa starting instead of, like we were talking, either Di Maria or Dybala. Like it's.
I think we'll see a couple of those guys probably in the second half for sure.
It's funny, like the way England kind of lined up. They put all their best players that they have out in the pitch, and they kind of worked the position around them. With Argentina, they're not picking all their best players, but they're just picking players that are good in certain positions.
For me, I still am in shock that Icardi is watching this the same way we are. Probably in the chat right now himself.
He is,
right?
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And you know, when you've got a player who leads Serie A in scoring and he can't even get a call up.
But I mean, that kind of goes to show the quality that Argentina have going forward. Like Dybala, one of the best players in the world in my opinion. He had a fantastic season for Juve. He's not playing. Higuain, the same, you know.
Probably a numbers game though for like a guy like Higuain, right? Because if you put him on, you probably take, unless you switch to like a 4-4-2, then you take Aguero off. Probably.
Exactly, and that's the thing. Like Aguero is he's kind of playing up in front on his own, and like he's looking for the balls to come over the top. Whereas Higuain is more of a guy who'll be able to hold up the ball and then play other people in.
See, I like Messi getting the ball right there.
Oh, here we go. That's it. Oh, great block. Great block.
But I like Messi getting the ball right there as opposed to deeper because he's playing the defining pass. He's playing that final ball into the 18 where somebody's going to have a chance to do something with it.
Yeah. It's a great ball in.
If he lets that run through,
Oh, yeah, he kind of steps over it.
Yep.
Yeah. That was going in. But in fairness, though, the Croatian goalkeeper, Subic, is fantastic. Is it Atletico Madrid he plays for? Or is
that's
it
Oblak, right? Is it Dortmund?
Is it Dortmund?
Dortmund, I think?
Because it used to be
Dortmund,
Dortmund was Weidenfeller, and then he left. I think it's Dortmund.
Or is it Monaco?
Or am I thinking
There's only one way to
defenders?
find out, lads. There's only one way to find out.
he's not. I don't think he's the Dortmund keeper.
I think there's a defender that's a Subasic.
Of last season, and even,
that's something.
even Weidenfeller, he was the number 2 for Dortmund.
Yeah.
This guy's on Monaco.
Is Monaco, yeah.
Yeah.
I got there in the end. Sloppy.
You know, I think the last time that these two teams met was Argentina. It was in a friendly, like back in 2014, I want to say, and Argentina won 2-1 with Messi scoring from the penalty spot.
Really, yeah.
And so maybe a little bit of foreshadowing there.
Yeah, yeah. Someone says, how Salvio plays over Dybala on the right is a joke, in my opinion. Quote unquote.
There's actually been a lot in talented teams so far this tournament. There's been some questions about a lot of wide players. I think Portugal has similar questions of how they've put their lineup out a couple of times. Well, it looks like it so far. Argentina is trying to really use some wit here.
You see him playing a bit quicker too, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Not waiting for them to get, Croatian defenders back. Excuse me, parking the bus, so to speak.
Yeah, exactly. Another funny stat is that this is the 12th time in a row that the Argentinian manager has changed his lineup. So he's not consistent.
I was going to say, and there's something to be said for consistency, for sure.
Exactly, especially at these kind of games, this kind of level.
I feel like when he was managing Chile, he knew his best 11, right? It was certain, it was locked in.
Yeah.
But did he have that same amount of depth with Chile that he has with Argentina? Sampaoli.
That's correct, yeah.
Well, after an early kind of good spell from Croatia, it looks like Argentina have settled in with a little more possession here.
I wonder, is that kind of part of the game plan for Croatia, just to kind of maybe sit back a little bit, soak up the pressure, and then kind of counter with Perisic?
Could be, yeah.
Yeah. Because they seem to be, when they're kind of getting the ball forward, they seem to be hitting it down the kind of wings.
Croatia just doesn't seem to have a ton of speed, though, to counter that effectively.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose they have. I mean, Rebic, the thing about Rebic is that he hasn't really kind of played for Eintracht Frankfurt this season. I'm not sure he's fully fit. He's on the right-hand side, and Perisic is on the left-hand side. I mean, Perisic has a bit about him. He can create. He has that pace. But yeah, I think on the right-hand side, they might be a little bit more weak. So the last 10 games out of 11, Croatia, the games that Croatia have been playing in has been under 2.5 goals. And the last 6 games that Argentina, out of 7, is under 2.5 goals. So,
I'll tell you what, if you're a gambling man this tournament and you took the under on a bunch of games, you're doing real well.
We were just saying 1-0.
1-0. A ton of 1-0 games. Or if there's a second goal, it's been 1-1 any game.
I know we're in the 17th minute here, but any score predictions you guys want to wager here?
Well, before I saw those stats that I just mentioned, I said it was going to be 2-2. I think I might be wrong, but I'm gonna stick with it. 2-2.
I do like one team getting 2 goals. I'm gonna say Argentina 2-1 is my prediction.
Yeah.
I was gonna go 3-1 Argentina just because
we aren't taping this, right?
Just holding out for some.
Yeah,
excitement.
hey, for the comments out there, Mass, get him to throw some.
All right, here we go. All right, it says interested to know who you lads think are going to go all the way. So who's going to win the World Cup?
I picked Brazil from the start. Although it's in Russia, typically you would pick a European team to win in European soil.
Yeah.
But I think Brazil they can defend now. They're better at defending than they have been in past years for me, and so. If they can stay healthy, obviously that's a big question, but if Neymar can stay healthy and they got the supporting cast around him, then I like Brazil, at least to be in the final, and then anything can happen.
I suppose, like, after watching the kind of first kind of group of games, I've kind of changed my mind a little bit.
I think
no, really?
You're with the rest of the world.
No, I was kind of going, right, okay, Brazil have the best team.
Well, how's that a foul? How's that not a foul?
Cleaned them out.
But I'm going to put
that was a perfect spot for Messi right there,
exactly.
too.
Look, the referee is going like that.
I love that. No, it was a dive, but I'm not going to book you.
Yeah.
So just
Mexico, I'm going to put it out there.
I love it. I love it.
I'm going to put it out there. I'm going to cheer for Mexico, and I think they're going to win.
The Irish.
No, he's just trying to get more followers.
No,
here.
I know I'm in LA.
Might as well be landing on to pull out the Mexico top underneath there.
Exactly.
Listen, I had a taco yesterday, and it converted me.
Yeah. This guy eats his tacos knife and fork.
Come on.
I wouldn't believe it unless I saw
Is that
it.
your first taco ever?
Yeah, first kind of proper one, and
Wow.
it was really spicy. I think
That's
I
the way
think
it's supposed to be.
Sevi set me up.
No, it's the
No,
way it's
no.
supposed to be.
And then he took a photograph
I did.
of me eating it and put it up on social media.
Well, did he give you a glass of horchata to go with it or something like that?
I offered.
That would have mellowed it out a little bit after it's all spicy.
Yeah. Knife and fork, it was good fun.
Well, let's get a picture of you today, just picking that whole thing up and just pow on out.
Yeah, get it in. Nathan, thank you so much for the host, pal. And he says Argentina are easily going to get beaten by Russia.
Oh, that's a hot take.
That is a hot take.
Maybe not based on how they played, though.
What?
That was a foul.
Was that a foul? Oh, okay.
Why are you even drawing in pressure at the back, though? Zip the ball around.
See, there again, that kind of shows the weakness that they are at the back.
Like, that ball right there. What the heck is
The
that?
keeper shouldn't have been even giving him the ball.
Again. Unbelievable.
As my dad used to say, and I hate to ever hear this when I was in like 6th division, just boot it out of there.
Yeah.
That's what Ireland's tactics are. Route one.
You guys have been booting it for 60 years
Oh
now.
man, I swear to God. Like, it's just the most frustrating. Like, we've talked about it before, like, but have you ever watched Ireland play? Or?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Favorite Irish player of all time for you?
Oh wow, great question. I'd say Paul McGrath. He used to play centre. He would have been 90s.
90s?
Yeah. Played for Aston Villa, played for Manchester United. He was just one of the best defenders of his generation, in my opinion. But Robbie Keane, come on. Leading goal scorer. He's good as well.
Love Keano.
Oh, he played for LA Galaxy as well, didn't he?
True. Won a title with him. All right, what can you do here?
Oh.
That actually
Corner.
skipped off the crossbar.
Really?
Yeah.
Got a couple comments on YouTube. True to the Sport says, bring back Di Maria. Think we might see him a little in the second half.
For sure.
Yeah, 100%.
Garrett says, why doesn't Ronaldo get as much heat as Messi when Portugal hasn't gone deep in previous World Cups?
Because they went deep in the Euros.
You win a Euro, I think, you buy yourself some
time, like,
some breathing room there.
Yeah.
And I think also just the talent level of Argentina that they have is so much higher than Portugal has had, besides the star players.
Oh, when you go look at the starting, like if you went 15 deep on each roster, for sure.
Yeah, there's just more expectation that with that talent, that Messi should be able to do more with it.
Foul?
That's a foul.
Apparently, the Argentinian manager looks like Dana White's twin brother. In fairness, he actually does look a little bit like him, Proto. Another question here. What's your intake on Belgium's squad, and do you think they have a chance to win?
My intake? About 3 or 4 pints usually. But
Yeah,
of Belgian beer.
Yeah, exactly. That's maximum intake.
I have them in the Final Four.
Yeah?
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I think they've got a lot of talent.
Bowman, what you reckon?
I think I had them out in the round of 8, just because, I mean, they have all that talent, but so far they've had that same talent for the past few tournaments, and they haven't really ever put it together.
But I also
that match 1 game, though.
Kevin, I also had Germany in my Final Four, too. They could still do it.
Good.
I think who does Germany have next?
Sweden.
I think that they will give them a thumping.
Well, given how Mexico's going to win it all, it's,
that's true.
it's no
That's
surprise
true.
that Germany struggles.
Yeah. But I think Belgium have the talent. Like, undoubtedly it's there. The way I filled out a bracket, somehow I had them running into someone, Brazil or someone earlier, and had them going out.
I was looking at the odds there, I think it was yesterday, and Belgium have now gone up to 3rd favourites to win the World Cup.
Wow.
Yeah, 13-2, I think they are.
Which translates to 6.5 to 1, I think,
exactly.
if my San Diego State math is correct. But I was told, you guys being here, there was going to be no math today, so that'll be the last of that. Right?
Minimal math. Our economics guy, he does all the math right there. I'm more of a reader-writer type of guy, soft arts. Got a good comment from Sir Doubtfire. Says, Vida, the Croatian defender, looks more like one of the bad guys that Bruce Willis took on at Nakatomi Plaza back in his Die Hard days.
That's only Mr. Doubtfire. That's only about 20 minutes from here, 25 minutes from here, Nakatomi Plaza.
We could be there.
Down in Century City.
Yes, sir.
I don't know. We're just past the midway point. I don't know who you'd give the nod to as far as.
They both had a couple half chances.
Yeah,
for sure.
half chances for sure.
Argentina's got possession. They're about 60% possession so far.
Yeah.
But I think both teams, Croatia 2 goal attempts, Argentina 1, so it's not like they're really creating a lot with any of it.
No.
Well, if you're Argentina, I think you're happy that Modric has not been on the ball a ton so far here in the first half.
He hasn't at all, yeah. You'd expect him to kind of be more involved in the game as well. What do you think about Rakitic?
I like him.
Yeah?
I like him. I don't know if I think he's one of those guys that can make those late runs into the area, you know, where if everything's pushed forward and kind of squeezed into the 18-yard box, he's the type of guy that finds that space at the top of the 18. Yeah. But with so much talent in the Croatian midfield, I don't know if he's going to have as many opportunities to do that maybe for country as he does for club.
Exactly, yeah.
He's got the vision. He sees the space like a half second before everyone else, so he kind of knows where to play the ball or where to make the run.
I remember when he played for Spurs back in the day, like, and he was just incredible. I haven't really seen too much of him. Like, I've seen the odd game of Real Madrid, like, yeah. But when he played with Spurs, like, he was just incredible.
I feel like there's a pretty good contingency of players like that have come through and played in the Premier League for really good teams, but for one reason or another just didn't, like Batshuayi, you know? The guy's amazing. And how did Chelsea not want to use him? I don't even know.
I'm surprised they brought in Giroud as well. I mean, like, Giroud, okay, he's decent enough, but he's getting on in years, and again, I just don't think he's an out-and-out kind of goal scorer. Like, he comes in patches anymore. Yeah, he comes in patches. Like, even with Arsenal, he used to come off the bench, maybe score a goal, but he was never consistent.
Is this the movement? Come on.
Going in the box. Yes. Ooh.
Just maybe waited a little too long. I don't know.
Yeah, I think he should have hit it in before.
The thing is, Argentina doesn't really have like a target man. It's a lot of smaller players up front, so if they're trying to like get across to head the ball in, there's not as much of like
no Batistuta out there who can just out-muscle everyone.
It's good defending. Good defending.
Well, we'll see what they do on a corner here. To your point, Kevin, do they serve it in because there's a lot of bigger bodies for Croatia, or do they play short and see if they can find something, a little channel of space coming through from maybe the edge of the 18?
Yeah, I'd probably go short here, just because the fact that the players are pretty small. I mean, the size of the Croatian players as well.
Well, you got to at least put the service in there.
Yeah,
come on.
Come on now.
That was awful. That's why Sampaoli doesn't have any hair. I think we can come up with a better doppelganger than Dana White.
That has to be someone else, yeah. He's the fourth different Argentinian manager.
Who's the Italian
coach?
Well,
Messi was there.
Spalletti?
Luciano Spalletti. Yeah, does he still have the little soul patch?
Yeah.
Mark, I was going to ask you about your club allegiances. I think I know where they lie. I got a pretty good idea, but growing up, tell me about what teams or sort of countries, or where did you?
Well, I grew up in Southern California, and so I'm in my early 40s. I'm dating myself.
No.
So, yeah. So we didn't have obviously the resources to watch soccer like we have now. So it wasn't until I believe it was 82 when I got on. I'm Italian heritage, so I got on the Italian national team.
Paolo Rossi.
Yeah, bandwagon.
Oh, nice.
For the 82 World Cup. And going forward after that, my team actually growing up and why I fell in love and eventually played college soccer and all that was actually in the NASL and the MISL, which was the San Diego Sockers where I grew up. So you guys don't have them. You don't have them. You do have some great teams up there.
We have one.
You have some great teams up there.
We have six. We had room for one more. They missed the cut. We got that.
I'm going to go home and go home to my dressing
I would have known that. I would have swapped it out. It was the one that got cut.
I saw all those teams play. And so so it was NASL was outdoor, and then the major indoor soccer league came around, and you wouldn't believe that on a Wednesday night in San Diego in the mid '80s, you would have 15,000 people inside of a sports arena watching this team play. But that's how it was, and that was how my love of the game first started. But then as I got older and I got into TV, Arsenal has always been my team.
Nice.
And I would say probably AC Milan for Italian teams.
Okay.
But then I got into Major League Soccer and was fortunate enough to cover some guy named David Beckham and call his games for 7 years. So
heard of him. I think it was some sort of model or underwear guy.
Exactly. Oh, finish it!
Oh, how do you put that wide?
How did he miss?
How did he miss?
Enzo Perez.
Trying to side foot that home. Was that a
know.
foul right before it?
Questionable.
which brings up a whole nother topic. How do you guys like VAR? That wasn't a foul.
I'm with it. I'm with it. I think it's not at. I'm looking at stoppage time at the end, and instead of 93 minutes, now most matches are about 94. So I think it's worth it to get obvious things right. I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a good thing in the long term. I'm not sure if it's fully perfect yet.
Agreed.
I think there's been a few decisions. I don't think the referee kind of knows that he can actually go to VAR or not, or like what constitutes going to VAR. But I think overall, I think it's a good thing.
I just think it should be goals and red cards only.
Yeah.
So people would say, well, if you look at this tackle here, people would say, well, what about an offside? Well, if a controversial offside leads to a goal,
yeah,
then there you go. You go back and you review it.
Yeah.
So then, does that mean though that the linesman should not be calling offside if it's close, just to let it play out, and then they can review it? Or
Right. That's a good question. Well, if he puts the flag up and the referee blows the whistle, then the whole chance is gone anyway, right? Because the players are going to stop moving.
Got another question. How do you guys rate Mandzukic's mind games? Have yet to see a game where the guy doesn't get chippy and start trash talking the opposing team. Do you think it works for him or against him?
What say you, Kev? Come on, Super Kev.
This one I have no idea how to answer. I haven't seen him play mind games. I don't watch a lot of Juventus.
The mind games don't show up in the stats and the analytics in the box scores. What you're saying.
But like, as a person who has played sports somewhat not at all competitively, but I like talking trash. I think it gets in people's heads, or at least gets their guards down. It makes them think too much. The more you make people think, the less it becomes natural and second nature, and then you kind of forget what you're actually doing.
That's good reasoning.
I'm not a fan. I never rated him as a player, although he has kind of proved me wrong a few times. That goal that he got in the Champions League final there a couple of years ago was fantastic. The kind of overhead kind of kick.
Oh, right.
But I don't know. I just don't like his style of play. I kind of like very, very quick, pacey kind of forwards, and he's just the opposite. And yeah, I don't really rate him.
I think every squad, whether he's in your starting 11 or not, needs that guy where you love him on your team and you hate to play against him. And I think Mandzukic is that type of guy.
Is that him there? Wow, come on, buddy. You should be scoring that. Or was he offside?
I'm wondering if the flag might have been. Yeah.
How could he be onside? He was practically walking it into the net.
Right. This will tell us right here.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Late run. He's got to finish that.
He's got to
Get his head on it?
That is so hard to go near post when your momentum's already taking you that way. You got to go across the body.
Well, I don't know globe, but there you go.
Well, it helps. It helps if his eyes were open too.
I think the trash talk. I think if that is your game, if you're Sergio Ramos, if that's like what you do, then yeah, it's great. But if you're a nice guy and all of a sudden you try to do it to put someone off, it's not your role. That's not your image. It's not what you're comfortable doing. It's just then you start thinking about it too much. You're not used to it.
Yeah, I like the way Conor McGregor does it. Like I think it's a bit of a show for him. I think it's definitely a way of getting into people's heads. But if he was nice before and now he's just kind of changed into this kind of character that he's created, nah, I don't know. I don't believe it.
I think there's no question he's a strong player though in terms of his strength on the ball, his ability to hold up.
Yeah.
You could do a lot worse. I mean, we were looking at some of the teams yesterday going, if only they had a sturdy or reliable...
A number 9, a quality number 9, yeah.
ProTwist says this has 0-0 written all over it.
ProTwist, I'm going to disagree with you, bud.
There hasn't been a 0-0 yet, has there?
No.
I think
Sweden and
we're only 30 minutes in, so we're still in the feeling out part, and both teams have had a couple of half chances.
Yeah.
When you get past the hour mark in the second half, a little bit of tired legs for a player or two, and all of a sudden you're going to see Messi explode through the middle of the field or something.
Yeah.
I feel like we haven't really seen much from Messi yet. He
No,
had that one early on.
The stars period.
Yeah.
That might be a catalyst for an opportunity here to close out this first half.
There's just no space. As soon as Messi picks up that ball, there's just no space.
Croatia are kind of playing like Iran did against Spain yesterday. that defence, it was just like a brick wall. Couldn't get past it.
And it almost worked.
Nearly did, yeah.
Well, to the tune of a draw, but
Yeah.
I was surprised that Spain couldn't get a second.
But at one point, like, Iran had 11 players in the box.
In the box.
It's like, wow. But I mean, you know, they knew that they didn't have the ability to kind of
You have to do that.
bang
You
a
have
few
to do
goals.
that,
You have to
yeah.
play to your limitations. You know.
Well, speaking of, you were talking about teams, Savvy, missing like a true number 9.
Yeah.
I think that Spain is going to run into some problems because they run everything through those central midfielders, you know, which is fine to create opportunities, but you got to have guys that are dynamic that are going to beat somebody from the top of the 18.
Where does all that
old
passing
school
end?
Fernando Torres, you know,
Torres,
like
David Villa, even who
exactly.
knew how to finish. You know, no Raul, no player like that. That okay, great, let's link up play, and now let's just bang it on the goal. You got to have someone who's ready to take that shot and not trying to find one more clever pass. Ouch.
It's how he has his boot up, but honestly, that's a free ball for both players for me.
It was just kind of forward, kind of momentum. He couldn't stop, like,
It's funny. I have a lot of non-soccer fan friends down where I live in Orange County, and so they turn to me for what's going on and things like that. And the biggest question I've been asked so far this entire World Cup is, tell me all the players don't always dive like this. You know, I mean, it's a story that's been going on for a long time, but it's bad in the game right now. And thankfully, there he is.
He's a character.
He's something.
Yeah.
Should we take a quick moment, look at some of the match stats while we
let's have a look.
have a player down? Anything? Let's do maybe a little augmented reality. Let's throw it on the desk for you, if that's all right, Terry. I'll only do it if Terry says it's okay.
Terry, we good?
1 minute.
You got it?
So 0-0 here. Approaching halftime. Not a lot of goal attempts, as you can see. Only two and three for all the attacking prowess on display. It's been a little bit. The volume's been a little down on this bad boy. Would you say, Mask? What jumps out at you?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Argentina having a little bit more of the ball, but you would expect maybe Argentina to play a lot more passes. 155. What time is it now? Is it like 7 minutes to go before half time? You'd expect them to kind of play a few more passes. I think in their last game that they played against Iceland, they had like 765 overall. So they're not actually playing the ball around as you would expect them. But they do have a 82% successful pass rate versus Croatia's 79, you know.
And ultimately, only one shot on target. It was that Caballero save that we were going a bit gaga about earlier, but Argentina yet to even test.
0%.
Well, yeah, and the big thing too is where Argentina has had their possession. All of it has been probably 30 yards from the Croatia goal and working back to their own goal, right? So
Exactly.
how often have they been in that final attacking third? Not a lot.
A bit, but you can obviously huge slant. The majority of the game being played in the middle of the third.
Look at this. This is awesome.
We've got the analytics.
All the stuff.
While this game's getting back, we'll just quickly look. You can see the average positions. Nothing like against Argentina and Iceland, where they were camped out in the whole other half. But you can see,
Croatia are playing quite deep as well.
And you see where Messi is right there. That's where you want him to be, as opposed to closer back behind the 15 and in that center circle, which is more where he was against Iceland.
Dropping back to get the ball. Maybe someone try to get a little closer to Aguero or find a way to get him an angle. Maybe he's a little bit isolated, which is why we haven't seen a ton of him this game. But
you want him to be your true number 10, right? You want him to be right underneath Aguero, getting the ball. Aguero's making darting, dangerous runs in behind, and Messi's playing it through into some channels, so Aguero's running onto the ball facing goal.
And on the opposite side, Mandzukic playing much deeper than I. My naked eye is out here telling me.
But I suppose Mandzukic he's the guy who kind of holds up the ball, and then his job is to hold it up and then flick it either side, and not so much as getting them up here too much. He needs to be in this position so we can actually hold it up and kind of make play happen.
Well,
Can you guys do anything with that? That's amazing.
We can do everything
I
except
can't- I
tell you
can't
who to
wait
bet
to-
on.
I can't-
We can't tell you who to bet on. That's the only thing we can't do.
Okay, all right.
Only for a price.
Okay.
Let's,
Everything can be done for a price.
let's get back to this one. Where's the breakthrough going to come from? What player is going to find the net? Any predictions there?
I mean, if I was a betting man, I'd go
If you were a betting man.
I'd go for Messi, obviously.
I'm going to go with Aguero.
Yeah.
I think Aguero's going to benefit from something special that Messi does. You know, where because I mean, we all know his ability to snake dribble through defenders is one of the best in the world, and I think his ability to draw in a second or third player to try and stop him is going to leave Aguero with some space to finish.
I think Mandzukic gets something of a set piece.
Ooh.
Really? Okay, interesting.
In a way, doesn't playing against Croatia suit Messi a little more? Because he's not playing against a parked bus, which is honestly now in the modern day, it is one of the toughest things to break down against teams that are so organized and energetic and are committed to that plan. And in a way, Croatia, they have to attack. That's their style. I mean, they're not going to camp out. So maybe a little more space for Messi in team to exploit?
In theory, you would hope so, but I mean, everyone knows who Messi is, including Croatia, who want to attack. So you're going to always be leery of where he is and where he's trying to find the ball.
I think though with Croatia, their kind of game plan at the moment is the counter-attack. So they're playing quite deep, and then they're just kind of hoofing the ball up, trying to kind of pick out the wingers. It's not working so far though.
If you're Argentina, you're fine with that.
Oh,
I
100%,
think.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
that right there, right?
Yeah.
Just trying to spring Mandzukic over the top, and they got three defenders right
and
there.
like, that doesn't work with a player like Mandzukic. Like you could see him there, he could barely run. You know. It's a nice ball.
Great tackle.
Foul.
Mark, back in your playing days, what position was your?
I was a goalkeeper.
Were you?
Yeah. So I played goalkeeper since I was about 14, all the way on. Peter Schmeichel was one of my favorites. Peter Shilton was one of my favorites.
Wow. Okay.
Jean-Marie Pfaff. Good ball.
Wow.
They gonna get the whistle there? Yes, they did.
Great touch.
And then eventually, as I was in my teens and stuff, and went all the way up to playing college at San Diego State, Tony Miola was one of my favorites too.
Oh yeah.
So and I get an opportunity to work with Tony from time to time for Fox. And
you remind him that you're.
Oh yeah. I make him take the pictures like this with the keepers like this with the with the gloves on, and remind him of that rat tail he used to have coming out the back in the '94 World Cup.
Yeah, I remember the LA Galaxy debut at the Pasadena Rose Bowl. I was one of the kids on the field before, and I remember it was against Metro Stars, and I remember Miola, and everyone said, "Remember this name. This guy is unbelievable keeper." Crazy though, like all you goalkeepers, a bit nuts up here. You have to be, huh?
Sure. I mean, obviously the game changed a lot in what was it right there in around the mid '90s when you couldn't pick it up as the goalkeeper.
The ball back,
and I think that was, for me, that was good because I was actually decent with my feet. But can you imagine if the game was like that now, how slow it would be?
It was one of the best kind of rulings that they made.
Absolutely.
I was just saying to the guys yesterday or the day before, like when Ireland played against Egypt in the 1990 World Cup, Egypt just got the ball, passed it back to the keeper, and just time wasted the whole time. It was frustrating.
He's going to have some decisions to make at halftime because it's not into fifth gear for Argentina at all.
There's no spark there.
Yeah.
There's just, I don't know.
If I had to describe their style, I don't think I could. You know, if you didn't tell me who these players were and you just put them in generic white or black kits, and I looked, I would say I don't know who is the best player out here. It's not shining, or what are they trying to do? I don't know.
That's true.
There doesn't seem to be a kind of solid game plan. Again, with the likes of Iran yesterday, you knew how they were playing. You knew what they were doing. With Argentina here, they're kind of playing it around, but not in a way that they kind of practiced it on the training ground.
Well, I mean, and when you guys had the lineups up there, I mean, you know that everything wants to go through Messi, but who's the other guy? Acuna, Perez, Meza. I mean, one of those guys is going to have to come off so you can bring on like a Di Maria, right? So he can get the ball kind of slanted out wide and start running at guys and then play through the middle.
Yeah. Dybala would be my number one choice now.
He'd be a good addition too.
Yeah.
What about Icardi?
Yeah.
Too soon?
I mean, I think he is a bit of a difficult teammate. I know there was a whole controversy with him and his teammate and the wife and all that. So,
I didn't hear about that.
That's a whole other show.
That's a whole. Yeah, that's after dark. So you know, you kind of figure that maybe he's not the best teammate, or there's something else going on, because on talent alone, you think you could find a way to squeeze him in.
Right. At least in your 23-man, you know. So be it if you didn't put him in the 18 for every game, but to have him available right there in case somebody goes down.
Yeah, that's.
But he might be the type of player that wouldn't accept that type of role too, you know.
Who was it that got sent home? Kalinic?
Croatia, yeah.
Kalinic, yeah.
Because he said he had a back issue and wouldn't go in the game.
What do you guys make of that? You buying it?
I don't know. I think there might be some issues going on behind the scenes there. But I mean, imagine, right, you're a player and you probably didn't like the manager. But having said that, you're playing in a World Cup and you get an opportunity to come off the bench and represent your country.
And you say no?
I mean, even if you don't play a game off the bench, like just saying that you were in the World Cup.
Exactly, you know.
Don't give up that opportunity.
France had somebody like that who they asked to be on standby. Was it Rabiot?
Did he say no, or?
And he said no.
Yeah, they asked him, kind of like Laurent Simon with Belgium. They asked him, hey, be on standby until we make our final decision of our 23, and he told them, nope, forget it.
And Simon handled that with absolute class. Whatever you need, and I've seen he's tweeting out support, like that's a team united right there.
Oh, great ball! Was that Modric?
Here's your boy. Oh, terrible touch, man, Zukic.
And then he skies it into row 15.
Was that Perisic?
Oh, Perisic. Yeah. That's why. Sorry, your boy.
Early first touch let him down for sure.
Yeah. Great ball, though.
That tackle.
Look at that.
Look who springs him. It's Modric.
That was fantastic.
What a pass. And he could have.
Yeah, is that Mandzukic in there?
Calamity of errors on that.
Still, that's just a half chance. By the time where he really settles it at the 20 yards out.
Still 0-0 at the half, huh?
Has he even handed out a yellow? Yeah,
there was one, I think.
One yellow to Croatia.
What needs to change? If you're either manager, what changes do you guys make now to?
Your stars have to make a bigger impact. It's particularly Messi. I mean, he did not. How many times did we see him get the ball and run at defenders to cause mismatches or unbalance the defense for Croatia? I'd say maybe once, maybe twice. But he's got to demand the ball or get the ball more often. How Modric had the springing pass right there, we've hardly seen any of that from Messi. If you're an Argentina fan.
So you're saying less personnel or grand strategy changes and more of a conversation of just motivating the player, reminding him who he is and what he's supposed to do to help.
Like, yeah.
Masks, tell him. Cristiano Ronaldo would take his team on his shoulders right now. What are you going to do?
Yeah, I mean, there is an over kind of reliance on Messi, but I do think he needs to kind of get into the game a little bit more. As you said, he needs to shout for the ball. He goes, listen, give me the ball,
right,
and then he can create. Aguero again. He's not in the game. And in fairness to Croatia, I actually think they're playing okay.
Yeah.
They're doing their job. They're blocking out the Argentinians as they're going forward. They're trying to create the chance on the off turn. And even Modric, that was a great ball in. That's what they want to do. Like, they want to get it down the left-hand side. They want to get Modric on the ball and create.
But to your point, they're frustrating Argentina right now, which is exactly
what they want
defensively what they want to do.
Absolutely,
get Argentina frustrated. You'll start to see the hands throw up. You'll start to see body language from Argentina, and then all of a sudden they can hit you on the counter, and now you're trailing 1-0.
Yeah, exactly.
I believe that last miss, where we were talking about the miscontrol, I believe that was Rebic, who was the change that they made when they took out Kramaric.
Yeah, so Rebic plays for Eintracht Frankfurt, and he's been injured all season. I think he might have played a game in the final.
The cup final. I think he had a man of the match performance.
Yeah, so, apart from that, he might be fully fit.
Should we take a look at some of the passing stats and
Yeah,
see
let's
who's
have a
been
look.
spreading their influence here, so to speak? So action areas we saw earlier, pretty much being played in the middle of the game, pretty evenly matched. Argentina a bit better possession, but probably the best chances have arguably come to Croatia.
I mean, that Mandzukic chance, the Perisic chance at the end, they were probably the two best chances. Although the Argentinian guy who missed...
I was going to say, when there was
Yeah.
a scramble in the box
Yeah.
and he had a chance to
And-
side
yeah,
foot at home.
that was-
Enzo Perez, I think it was.
Perez,
Yeah.
yeah. That was the...
That was the main chance,
Yeah.
like, yeah.
Well, each team has had one quality chance. That was Argentina's, and then the back post header from Mandzukic when he
Mandzukic.
hit it by the near post. That was their best chance, probably.
So yeah, Argentina are mainly focusing their attack on the left-hand side. Only 17% through the middle, though. Quite surprised about that. Thought they were maybe a little bit more trying to get Aguero involved down the middle as well.
And probably part of that is that Croatia is playing 5 in the midfield. For all intents, they're a 4-5-1. So it's going to be really difficult to play through that middle area.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're going to have to. What you're going to have to do is, I mean, to use a basketball analogy, you're going to have to go outside first to come inside, or vice versa. Come inside quickly around the midfield, then get it back out wide and see if you can get some numbers in the box.
Exactly.
Do you look at a Di Maria then and say he's the guy who can stretch, or maybe you look at this and say, wow, we're actually playing a lot on the left. Maybe bring him in on the right, or change some things around to help stretch both sides rather than maybe getting forced.
Specifically, if you're talking about Di Maria, right? He loves to hit everything on his left foot. So, and I love that trend now of guys being on the right and cutting in on their left, and then you have the whole field to look at, right? So that's definitely a possibility. It'll be interesting if Sampaoli decides to make a change right now, coming in for the second half, or if he says, I'm going to give you guys 15 minutes, see if you can solve it now that we've seen them play for 45 minutes, and then see what I'll do.
The thing is, like, I'm not particularly kind of impressed by Di Maria. I don't think he's a player who can actually change a game. He hasn't played too well with PSG this season. And in fairness, that league that he's playing in, Ligue 1, is a league that is pretty poor. I mean, there might be 2 teams in that league that are decent.
Sure.
At a good level.
Yeah.
So Di Maria, for me, I don't know. I wouldn't be convinced.
Dybala,
100%.
Banega
For a centre kind of midfield kind of role, yeah. But he's a stopper. He's a guy who can actually, stop the Croatians going on the attack.
What do you think about moving Messi more to like role more in the center of the pitch? Have him, instead of being on the right side, get him kind of an attacking midfield.
Absolutely, yeah.
In the middle, get him more involved on both sides of the attack.
Well, they need to do something. They need to do something, and they need to change it a little bit.
Croatia, on the other hand, largely coming also down their right side. This side of the field is seeing a lot of action. Maybe one is a result of the other. When the ball is getting turned over, you're playing up the side of the field you're already on a little bit. But you can also see that perhaps Croatia have done a little better job of getting those attackers sneaking by on the left side. We've seen some of the great chances come on that left back post run there.
Yeah, I mean, if I was Croatia, and no disrespect to Rebic, I'd be getting the ball over on the left-hand side a lot more to Perisic, who is a top quality player. He can create chances. He can change games.
When we look at a pass map here, who do you want to see? I know Kevin, I know who you want to see. You want to see your boy?
Check him out.
All right,
Yeah,
let's
for sure.
see Luka Modric's passes. Only 16. That is surprisingly low for a player of his
Many
caliber.
of them are just kind of mostly sideways. There's not a lot that are really. He had a couple of the one that he did to with Perisic at the end.
You see that final ball right there is the long arrow coming in.
But most of them are just like not really advancing the attack at all, kind of just swinging it around.
Well, let's take away all the sideways and backwards passes, and you can see 6 attempted passes forward, and 4 of them were good. One of them we saw that great ball he played through to Rebic. But not a lot, not enough touches, maybe you would argue.
Well,
Yeah, I would think so.
but whether you're Messi or you're Modric, that last, see the red arrow, the last one, that final ball, you want to see 5 of those right there is what you want to see, because where he's picking it up right there and where he's playing it into the top of the 18, that's their job. That is their job. That's what you want to see from Modric, and obviously he hasn't had the opportunity to get further enough forward to do that.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what he does with his club.
Yeah, exactly.
These are the kind of passes that he does week in, week out. Well, he's not doing it today.
Maybe we'll take a look at Rakitic as well, as we're also doing Croatia. Bit similar. He's been a bit more spread out too. He's not as locked off as you thought he would. He's we talked about his legs earlier, likes to run into space. I think we're sort of seeing that by this pass map.
Yeah, it looks like when Rakitic gets on the ball, he's looking for Perisic on the left-hand side here. He's looking to get him in the game a little bit more.
On the flip side, maybe look at Argentina. We always got to start with Messi. You can't not. So he has popped up on the right a little bit, but again, nothing. He's not passing the ball anywhere too threatening near the goal. You know, Croatia probably looks at this and says, "Great, we're doing a job on Messi, right?"
Exactly. Look at that huge gap of space down the middle, which is where Messi can be so dangerous. He's operating only out on the flanks. To your point, Kevin, he needs to probably, find some movement inside and see if he can find a pocket of space. The problem is more than likely than not, he's going to have to do it with his back to goal. Because if he's going to dip into that space, he's not going to be the guy running onto the ball from somebody else. He's going to dip in and get it with his back to goal.
Yeah. This kind of shows me as well how well Croatia are playing, stopping Argentina's play. Like they really are blocking everything that's going down the middle.
This is validation for their system, their approach to this game.
This is why I think Croatia are playing a lot better, even though they mightn't be on top.
Sure.
But their game plan is to do exactly this.
And you figure a draw for them, great. That puts them on 4 points, and they're halfway there.
We should take a snapshot in our heads of that right there, and let's see 20 minutes into the second half what it looks like.
We can do that. We've got that kind of technology here.
I love that you're a yes man.
I can help you. When you ask for something difficult, cut his mic. Let's take a look at Messi's heat map, which kind of should sync up with his pass map a little bit. You can see he's touched the ball a few areas. That's particularly troubling where Messi has to come back and do that much work to receive the ball. And you want to see more red. You want to see more concentrated touches. You want him on the ball more. Green obviously means he's had ball interactions, just not that many.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at Ronaldo's heat map compared to Messi, you don't see Ronaldo back here. You don't see Ronaldo in defence. You see him with a lot of red marks, a lot of yellow marks, up around the box, up around the left-hand side, the right-hand side. Surprising that Messi has to get back and defend. He should be the guy who's looking for the ball and creating those chances instead of him being there.
You know, a lot's been sort of made about how Ronaldo is kind of changing his game and aging gracefully, if you can say that about someone who's still young and looks like has a body like a Ferrari, but he's not wasting any energy on things that aren't outside of his role. He really kind of seems to know when to use energy, when to make that long upfield run we saw the other day when he broke some sort of sprinting record, I think. Yeah. Messi maybe doesn't quite have that own discipline to know maybe some of his limits that he's starting to hit a little bit.
Yeah, but there's the other question about Messi is like that. He's 32. Is he coming towards the end of his peak? You know, are we expecting too much from him? These are the questions that we
at
need
this
to
point, no way. I mean, is he coming to the end? That's possible.
Yeah.
But at this point, as far as are we expecting too much? No way.
Yeah.
You're not one of the. There's a reason we say you're one of the best players in the world, and you're in that argument with Neymar, Ronaldo, Messi. Yeah. You know.
I suppose I think you're right because like if we look at the La Liga statistics for Messi during the season, we can see that he had the most chances created, the most goal attempts, and he also had the most goals. Here we go, just like magic.
Led La Liga in attempts on target. Led him attempts on target, and of course the Golden Boot winner in La Liga. You don't do that and then say I'm too old to come to the World Cup and give my country everything they need.
Yeah.
It's interesting though with this squad he's on now in Argentina, and particularly the one that they have on the pitch today. There's really, in my mind at least, like two creative players. There's him and there's Aguero, and the rest I kind of just feel kind of more supportive, defensive type players. Yeah. And so with Barcelona, he has a lot more options where he can play off of. Well, he has Rakitic passing from behind. He's got Suarez in front of him. He's got Dembele's helping. He's got other options that he doesn't have to be the one that's initiating everything. He can be the one that's making a later run and doing it. And this, he has to be the one because he's always going to be behind Aguero typically. So he's the one that has to kind of create everything from the get-go. Yeah. And it's just a lot more responsibility, which I guess Ronaldo kind of has to do with Portugal as well, and he's able to do it more effectively. But it's just a different role than he's used to playing with Barcelona that I think kind of
the quality
saps away.
Yeah, the quality isn't there. The quality in the Argentinian team isn't the same as Barcelona, where he's getting the ball a lot more. He's playing with a lot better players. you know, with Argentina. They do have a few decent players. I think most of them are on the bench though. And yeah.
That's disturbing for me though, for Aguero.
Sergio Aguero's heat map.
Yeah, I mean, you'd want to at least see a couple of green squares around the top of the 18. This means he's just hovering. He's kind of hovering out wide, waiting for something to happen. He's being more reactionary than trying to be the catalyst for some movements. Yes, he's the guy who receives the final ball, but still, to see that he's only out on the flanks and the periphery, that's got to be a problem.
That's bad news.
This is the heat map of some sort of winger or an outside back. This isn't your striker's
It's an
heat
outside
map.
midfielder. Is what it is, and he's your number 9.
Is there a way for him to quote unquote force his way inside, even if the box is being packed a little bit? You said maybe he's kind of reacting and just drifting out wide. Does he hold his ground? Can he stay in there, or how do they get him involved in that central role? What do they do to get him the ball in those positions?
Well, again, I mentioned going outside first. So I think if you're having some of your outside midfielders getting the ball and they have some green squares out near midfield but out in wide positions, then you're gonna draw some of Croatia's defenders out to put ball pressure, and then you're hoping that you have more space for Aguero centrally. So a lot of times for guys that are playing a number 9 spot, the onus falls on either the number 10 right underneath him, in this case Messi, or the guys that play out wide, what they can do to free themselves up and play the ball into channels and in and around the corners of the 18.
Now, ultimately, looking at both teams' attempts on goal, Argentina only 2 total. When you look at this, I mean, obviously, just the lack of shots jumps out at you. What else do you look at this and see? Is there anything you can learn, or is everything, to our point talking earlier, is getting the ball here? They're just not even entering this type of opportunity where they can threaten the goal.
Yeah, I think this kind of goes to show how badly they are playing. You know, like a normal Argentinian team, you'd expect them to have a lot more chances and a lot more kind of prolific when they are going into the box. But like, there's one miss and then one blocked shot, and that's in 45 minutes.
That's it.
I mean, come on, that's not good enough.
Mask, you asked the question earlier about or one of you guys asked it, is Argentina feeling too much pressure? It's going to get heavy here in the second half if they don't start to get more than just these 2 types of attempts. Because could you imagine if Messi and Argentina come out of 2 games with 2 points, or 1 point even if they don't win this game? I mean, they need 3 points out of this game today. They need 3 points going into their final group game.
Absolutely. Croatia, a little more positive, not an abundance or overwhelming number of attempts, but you can see they've had some joy. Certainly the save that we saw and the header that just glanced a bit wide. Do they take that and say, okay, maybe if we get another 4 attempts similar in the second half, we'd be good and happy with that?
Yeah, I think they'd be much more happy about their performance in the first half. I think Mandzukic should have scored this missed attempt here on the left-hand side. They need to kind of score. They need to kind of create more chances to be able to score.
Certainly should be interesting to see how they respond as the second half kicks off now.
Looks like no changes, too, to begin the second half. So.
As is. I'll tell you what, though, they could probably take away Sampaoli's chair just right now. I don't think I've ever seen that man sit down or even stand still. He's always pacing back and forth, wearing in that grass along the touchline.
I'm just going to put it out there now that I'm seeing this whole setup and everything for the first time here with you guys. I think for 2022, hopefully you're going to, Sevi, have it all set up in Qatar. And, and we'll be doing this just live.
Absolutely. No AC, though.
No AC.
We'll try to save a little bit. Low budget.
AC, we'll get like a spirit sponsor. We'll get,
We'll see.
Sponsored by Guinness.
There we go. That's how we guarantee Mask comes along. Are you guys fans of the expanded tournament in 2026?
Is that confirmed?
Yeah, I think it is, yeah.
Is it really?
Yeah, is it 46 or 48 teams?
48.
48 teams, yeah.
So it would make 4 groups of 12.
I think
12 groups of 4, sorry.
Yeah, I think it kind of loses its kind of prestige, the fact that there's so many more teams playing in it. But for a fan of a lesser nation who would never normally kind of see a World Cup, I can imagine it'd be a good thing for them. I think for on a personal note, we should really be able to qualify. for the World Cup, and yeah.
But to me, then that means only one team comes out of each group, and then you have 4 like second place
Best
teams
of,
that have the most point total or the best goal differential or something like that. Yeah. So we always have a group of death. There's going to be some second place teams that are not going to get into the knockout round, theoretically, and that's going to upset some people.
It makes things a lot more interesting, though, for a lot of these group stages that get decided really early, so
True.
That's something that
True.
goes down to the wire.
I don't like it. I'm trying to get on board. You know, I tell myself more soccer games. Great, you watch all these, but I can't do it. I think there's too many minnows. There's too many teams that end up here that get found out.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be
like the United States.
Hey, we got found out a while ago. That's what I said. Once we're back in the World Cup, we can laugh about this one.
It might take 104 places for the States to get through that. In fairness.
I don't like how in like UEFA World Cup qualifying, where if you finish second, maybe you'll go through, but it depends on how other things do. You want to know if you finish a certain position in your group. Are you going through, yes or no? You don't want to have to find out.
Are you talking about like the playoffs? Are you talking about like if
even who gets the playoffs, right? So it's like the top 2 second place or third place teams.
It depends. Like it does depend.
Exactly.
Like,
Are you talking about qualifying?
Qualifying for the World Cup or the Euros. Like,
well, it depends which region you're in, right?
Yeah, I think the reason why there's there's a lot more teams that qualify from Europe is, without disrespecting the rest of the world, I think it's a lot more difficult. There's a lot better teams.
Oh no, I'm
competing.
I'm on board with that.
Yeah. Europe 100%. Or CONMEBOL or South America.
South
absolutely.
America. Yeah, exactly.
If they're getting the spots, great. Yeah. But if it's Asia, if it's CONCACAF, I mean, well, I guess I should lobby for at least one more for CONCACAF. But
they will have to get extra spots.
We have
having
three hosts.
Three hosts. Yeah, they will have to. And that's probably FIFA's agenda right there. Part of it. Why they gave it to Mexico, Canada, and the U.S. is they're thinking that's our reasoning. We have to expand to 48 teams.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh, look, they're using some of your guys' technology right there.
Yeah, like I think Australia had to play 20 games before they actually qualified for the World Cup. They travelled over 1 million miles. Here's a quiz question for you, actually.
Uh-oh.
Here we go. Right. So, which stadium has been the venue for 2 World Cup final matches?
All right. Let me. I'm not going to give you an answer. I'm just going to think aloud a bit.
Yeah. So the question again is, which stadium has been the venue for 2 World Cup final matches?
I'm going to say in Germany.
Okay.
I don't know what the stadium would be, but something in Berlin.
Germany, yeah.
Something in Berlin or something
Maracana.
like that.
Or what's the Uruguay national stadium? Right? They hosted it twice, I think.
In Montevideo.
Yeah, something like that.
I have no idea.
Right. What was the first thing? What was the first thing you said?
The first one I said was Azteca.
You said Maracana was the first one you said.
That was the second one I said. I'm just throwing out all sorts of terrible ideas here.
Sevi has now. I've asked him 4 questions. He's gotten 4 correct.
It's Azteca?
Azteca, yeah,
wow.
in Mexico.
So that was 86.
86.
And I don't know when the first one they hosted
Something
was.
earlier.
Yeah. Living up to the reputation over here, pal.
I majored in history at undergrad, so I can remember useless or semi-useful facts.
But the puzzled look he gave me when I threw out San Diego Sockers. Yeah, he turned to the pennants up there, but he was kind of like...
Because outside of it, I have a pennant, and I was going, it's a little dirty, San Diego, that one got cut. That was the one pennant I didn't have room to squeeze in there.
It was 1970 and 1986.
70. Yeah. Brazil won that one.
It's right, the first ever World Cup in colour in 1970.
Yes.
On TVs.
Ooh.
Oh, that was it.
Wasn't even going for the ball.
Yeah.
Another comment from Mubizi Luaga, sorry, said, I would rather get Crespo from retirement and play him out of position than play this Menza fool. I mean, I can't blame you for wanting
Get off the fence,
for wanting a Crespo out there. He was class for sure.
Early return so far in the first 6 minutes of the second half. I don't Higuain looks like he's about to come on, but
I think that'll
I
be
haven't
for
seen any really change at all on Argentina's.
I think that'll be for Aguero, probably. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
You think you pull the plug that soon, or?
I mean, they would have to shift their formation, wouldn't they, dramatically, if they're going to play the two of them together.
Well, really?
Although Higuain could come from a wider position, so that could be for Meza.
That Meza fool.
Yeah, that Meza, Maxi Meza, that could be for him. That's true.
Looking at the average positions earlier too, basically I know they came in with like a three in the back, but basically with Mascherano dropping back, it was essentially a 4-4-2 that Argentina was based on average positions at least that they were playing.
That's probably the most touches in one sequence we've seen from Messi all game.
Right there.
Oh, great turn.
Oh.
But we saw none of this in the first half, right? Where he's out top trying to create something.
Look at that.
And how many times did Aguero ever get a ball like that? He didn't.
Exactly, yeah.
Held his ground, held the defender.
Oh, what are you doing?
God.
Oh, what the finish! Rubbish!
That was the unnecessary volley.
Carry is 2.0.
We said at the beginning.
Yeah, Carry is 2.0.
What are you doing?
What are you doing?
I'm still shocked that he hit that first time. You could have settled it down and had a much easier finish.
He was trying to just like flick it back to his defender.
It was laid on a platter for him.
What a finish. Messi
St. Pauli's on the march again.
Argentina are going to go mental. Oh, man.
What was he trying to, like, a cheeky little chip over the defender? Oh, my goodness. What are you doing? We've seen some goalkeeping blunders in this tournament. Like this, right? What are you doing?
Oh, no. In fairness, though, what a finish.
Yeah.
What a finish.
Look at that, waiting for it.
Shades of Zlatan.
Yeah.
He made his debut at the Galaxy.
Absolutely.
Oh, could you imagine?
Like, he could have maybe just chipped, but let me rip a volley. Yeah, we're feeling the same way. That is not great for Argentina. I mean,
I don't know that you can recover from that. I don't know that you can.
Caballero or Argentina?
Argentina.
You think that's the dagger right there?
I mean, God, every guy on their team wearing an Argentinian jersey right there is thinking, "Are you kidding me? You're a professional and you just did that?"
Yeah.
You would hope it might be a spark, but now every time you play that ball, what are you thinking? What is he going to do?
It's not exactly De Gea either, where he makes the mistake against Portugal, and you go, well, you're still probably one of the top 3 goalkeepers in the world.
Right.
Where you're going to be okay. You're going to recover. Caballero, not exactly the same level of confidence.
Just look at the Champions League final and what happened to Liverpool.
I don't want to.
One bad mistake. One bad mistake.
Don't make me relive this. I'm a Liverpool supporter. I can't go through it.
So it
again.
was Aguero who came off.
Yeah. Alpha Sounds, how you doing, buddy? Hope you're well, pal.
Let's see if Higuain makes a big difference, though, as far as how much time he gets on the ball, how active he is.
Do you reckon they're going to kind of change their kind of style now? Do you reckon they're going to be a bit more kind of direct?
I think it's going to go from desperate to more desperate.
Yeah.
Right, which is only going to give Croatia more chances, right?
Of course.
Yeah. Oh, what a ball.
Woo! True the Sport asks if we're accepting interns. I think Terry would like someone to keep the temperature of her tea just right, so I absolutely will take interns. Kay McCobb says, thoughts on this SAT analogy? So we've got a cerebral thinker. LeBron is to Cavs as Messi is to Argentina. What do you guys think of that?
LeBron to the Cavs. No, because LeBron already delivered a title to Cleveland.
Yeah, and I mean, LeBron actually, he's the only one in this team that's doing stuff. Messi's kind of been invisible all game.
And LeBron can leave the Cavs. Messi can't leave Argentina.
Yeah, he might not be able to go back if he doesn't deliver for him either.
It's true. All right, so another change here. Salvio out.
Who's coming on,
Let's
Lucy?
see.
Oh, there it is again. Look at
The finish, though.
Finish, like.
There was no need to you could have settled it down.
But it's kind of like the thing that you practice in training. Those kind of balls, they come up in the air and like you look, your eyes are on the
They're
ball.
not that many around, so when you see one, you got to have it.
But I mean, like the composure, just to finish that.
That was class.
Like,
Would Kramaric have finished like that?
well, that's the thing. I don't know. I don't know, man.
It's very balanced, though.
Oh, he's coming on. He's coming on.
Your boy.
Yeah, here he is. Game changer.
Linked with, who was it, Bayern Munich and...
yeah, apparently he's worth £44 million.
Wait, tell us the other team he was linked with. There was Bayern Munich, which go, oh yeah, great up-and-coming player. What was the other club?
Newcastle. Newcastle
tough decision for me. Yeah. Tough decision.
Yeah, but at Newcastle, he would be penciled. He'd be inked in the starting lineup all the time, probably.
And he would be a god for them.
You know, at Bayern Munich, he might just get in some like German Cup matches.
Sure.
Until he proves himself to be worthy of a starting 11 nod.
Alpha Sound says,
not good looks from the Argentinian fans here. I don't see the dale, 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 ooh. I don't see any of that.
No. This is more, 2002 when they lost in the group stage, and immediately at the final whistle, 11 players fall to their knees, and the tears and the everything starts. They're dangerously close to that territory.
Yeah. Alpha Sound says, this is Messi's last World Cup, and it will end now.
Wow. Very uplifting stuff here. We appreciate that.
Very possible.
It's like the world would end.
There are so many more Ronaldo fans on social media than there are Messi fans, though.
Are there?
Well, at least on my feed, I get everything just like, oh, the God, CR7. I'm just like, geez. No one ever talks about Messi online. I think just because, I don't know, maybe people online like the physical jumping 12 feet high and heading the ball in more than they like technical skill. But
yeah, but oh, come on. Ronaldo's super technical.
Okay.
But, you know, you see things like, you've seen it before probably on different social media where they say, you know, comparing these two guys. And even things like how personable it seems like Ronaldo is. Like, Messi doesn't dress up in a costume and go in the middle of a Madrid square and juggle a ball.
Nutmeg people.
And and then kids start coming around, he's playing with them, and then all of a sudden there's 30 kids around and he decides to pull off the costume and show them who he is. Messi doesn't do that, you know. He could, but maybe they just haven't caught it on camera, I don't know. But it seems like Ronaldo embraces the spotlight a little more.
He was born to have his name on a marquee. Messi is just very, 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 very good at soccer, you know, and he just loves doing it.
Right.
Does he still vomit before a bunch of games? I remember that was a story how he used to always get super nauseous.
Really?
And, he was, and like his dad was like
with nerves, like.
Yeah, he just would always throw up, and it was like at some point, how many big matches have you played and won in and scored in, and you still get nervous?
He probably just watched the highlights of Ronaldo's goals that he scored during the week.
I just talking about his personality, I almost wonder if there's maybe a little anxiety or something that kind of manifests itself.
Well, you don't hear him in a ton of interviews all the time.
I kind of like that about him, though. I like the fact that he's quiet. You know, he's a family man. You know, he does his business on the pitch, but he doesn't really get involved in the whole kind of showbiz aspect.
Aren't you a McGregor fan, Conor McGregor? You're just saying, no, I love McGregor.
Yeah, no, listen, like, just because he's Irish, I mean, come on. But I mean, McGregor is great at what he does. Like, a lot of people don't realise that he's an absolute world-class athlete as well as a world-class bullshitter.
For sure.
You know, but yeah, different types of people.
Hey, if Messi was Irish or Ronaldo was Irish, I think you'd be wearing their jersey right now.
Oh, 100%.
Well, you said you like seeing Messi do his thing on the field. Yeah. When are we going to see that here in this game?
There's the question.
When are we going to see that in this game?
Get me on the phone to Sampaoli there. I'll tell him what to do.
Is he a player that needs to kind of be in that tiki-taka style, though? Because Argentina hasn't really played that way at all, and that's...
They could,
played his entire career
but they have the talent to do it. They're just not.
They don't know what they're doing out there. Like, it's actually embarrassing. Look at this.
There doesn't seem to be any like perfect.
That pass was intended for Messi, by the way.
Oh, was it?
Got another comment. I'm a Real Madrid supporter, but even I'd feel bad if Messi's international career ended on this goalkeeper's failed video game chip pass. That would be quite sad. If that's how you remember Messi going out with Caballero trying to chip it.
Well,
he's going out with him not scoring any goals.
Yeah, and it'd be a sequence of events, right? We'd see the missed penalty, his reaction after the game against Iceland. Yeah. Then you'd see Caballero's F up.
Yeah. There you go. That's better.
That's vintage Messi
right
there.
Riding the challenge, finding a way through.
Oh, what do you
That was better, though. That was better. That's what you need Messi to do. Get a little fired up, get a little angry.
Come on, he got the ball out in the wing, and then he just hit it directly at the defender. You expect him to get the ball into the box, pick a player out. This is not good enough.
So they still have one change left. The last one for Argentina was Christian Pavón coming in for Salvio.
A little surprising for me.
Yeah, the guy that you were talking about still hasn't come in, right?
Apparently, Messi's vomiting was part of his, or it was due to his diet. Apparently.
What was he cutting his tacos with a fork and a knife too, or what?
Oh, okay.
Legendary.
Too soon.
Legendary. You should have seen the people in there looking at this guy crying. It was just so hot. He's crying, laughing, and cutting up his tacos.
Listen, you come over to Ireland. You have a pint of Guinness and a plate of potatoes. Right, and
I love carbs. Love them. Raised on them.
Max, how you doing, buddy? Hope you're well, pal.
Me too, Max.
XE.
So, like, is there an argument that because Messi is not delivering on the world stage internationally for Argentina, and Ronaldo is there basis for an argument that Ronaldo is better?
Of course, it's an argument. It's always going to be an argument, right?
Yeah.
They're just too close in statistics and timeline and trophy cabinet for there not to be an argument.
Yeah.
Even if Messi does win the World Cup, which for me a few years ago I would have said yes, he's become the best of all time. That cemented it. Now you look and Ronaldo won a Euro with kind of a bit of a rubbish team. Portugal was, right?
They weren't expected to win. Here we
go.
Do
yes.
something. Oh!
Great save, keeper.
Corner.
Unlucky.
Corner, I think.
Final shot.
Come on.
Great ball by Higuain, though.
He picked him out.
He picked him out.
He picked him out.
I'd like to get a little more pop on that shot, but
Yeah.
still.
Especially, he was coming on to his left foot, I think.
What we haven't seen for Argentina, and maybe for Croatia for that matter so far, is we haven't seen any close, 25-yard and in set pieces where you can get Messi on a dead ball and try and do something.
There was that one that they didn't call, and then they called
That's
the weak foul a couple
That's that
plays later.
clown Mesa guy. What do you
The Mesa Fool.
Mesa Fool. Yeah.
There should be a Maradona cam, though, where you just watch his reactions and only his reaction. Yeah, I mean, I got a seat for you, Diego, if you want. We can speak a little Spanish to make it easier, too.
I'm really impressed by his earrings. Those things have like some massive rocks in them.
He's a man of style.
They're actually CZs, Kevin.
That's a great ball. Go on. First to it. Okay.
Ooh.
No, he got the ball.
And they got the goal kick out of it.
Is that Vita, our diehard villain?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, he is.
Hans Gruber, or what's
Yeah, good call.
That's a great tackle.
He had to get that just right.
Yeah.
It's a little better from Argentina in terms of where they're getting chances and where they're going.
The idea is you can see they're starting to see things a little better now.
But they're forced into it, obviously.
They have to.
They're trailing,
Exactly. Yeah, that's the.
Mandzukic having that little look around just to know where he's coming on. A little bit of the dark arts, and knowing when to take a tumble.
Here's a quiz question for you.
Should I be silent on this one? You want me to give Kevin a chance?
Come on,
No,
give the other guys a chance, Evie. Come on now. So which country?
Ooh.
Mandzukic. Misic, I should call him.
Misic. Misic.
Yeah, Misic. Which country has Brazil met twice in a World Cup final match? So which country has Brazil met twice in a World Cup final match?
I'll say Italy.
Okay.
You want me to? I'll let Kevin go first.
Germany?
All right.
That's it.
I'm going with outside the box here. I think it's going to be old, and I'm going to say like Soviet Union or something like that.
Okay.
I like it.
Just because maybe one of those back in the day. I don't know.
Did anybody get it?
The correct answer
Is.
Italy.
Italy. There we go.
Eh,
The new quiz master.
Batting
Extraordinaire.
2000,
1 out of 2.
2002 and
1994.
yeah.
It was
Well,
1970 and
Not
1994.
94 is what I'm thinking of. God, I remember too many World Cups now. Now they're all bleeding together.
Yeah.
94.
That was when Roberto Baggio missed the penalty.
Yep,
Yeah.
sent it over the top.
Yeah.
That was at the Rose Bowl, wasn't it?
I believe so,
I think
yeah.
so.
Yeah.
That was sad. Baggio, he had such a great tournament that in '94 too. He was unbelievable.
He was like the Ronaldo and Messi of the day back then.
And he had that little rat
Ponytail,
tail,
yeah.
that little. You're not
Do
a fan?
people? I just don't understand that look. Like, is
It was all the
ironic?
rage. It was all the rage
Do
in the
people
mid
like
90s.
think they look good, or is like, oh, this is gonna be funny. I'm gonna have a rat tail
Yeah, you like the level of decision
Oh,
making
you
that
didn't know.
went.
You didn't know about the ducktail, huh? You didn't-
before my time. Maybe.
The mullet. There was a lot of mullets going around too.
Oh, for
I had
sure.
a mullet once.
Did you?
Yeah, I rocked a mullet.
Last week.
In fact, like the mullet. See, the thing is with these kind of like
Tell
haircuts.
us about it.
Yeah, let me go into it. Like the thing with these kind of like haircuts and styles, like they're part of fashion. You just go with it. Mullets were very, very popular when I was a teenager.
But Fernando Torres used to have one a bit. There was kind of
That's
that
it,
like
yeah, yeah.
it was kind of manicured. It wasn't like. I'm trying to help you out here.
It was styled.
In the 90s, though, back then, they called it, like, it was basically the soccer player haircut, right? Short in the front and then kind of wavy down in the back.
Absolutely. Did you ever?
Pavel Nedved?
Yes. Beautiful, beautiful mane. Did you ever rock it, Mark?
I had the all-long.
Oh.
I had the all-long in my college playing days in goal.
A bit grunge.
No, growing up in San Diego.
Surfer.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Getting a feel for it.
I was lucky enough to play the two S's, soccer and surfing, growing up.
California life. Another good comment. I thought Sampaoli was meant to be some tactical genius, but he's just picked loads of bad players and dressed like a casino bouncer instead.
So true. Who was that from?
That's not actually. I found that on Twitter right now.
So true.
I could not read it.
Yeah, Dybala on finally.
That's good.
Yeah, they needed one.
That's all their changes. That's it. All
Yeah.
before minute 70.
Yeah.
How many Croatian players are riding on one yellow right now?
3, 2.
Because I feel like there's a bad challenge coming in, a red card at some point.
Wow. Almost picked someone out. Handball. There's no way this finishes 1-0. There's too many chances still coming, I think. Croatia aren't just sitting back either when they get the
They're
ball.
going for it. Like,
You can see it starting to open up.
That's a free, right? Okay.
No, he gave him
He's
advantage.
playing on. Okay.
I feel like anytime you got Mandzukic and Lovren and Vida on your team, you probably want that set piece, right? I mean, you don't.
I agree.
Yeah.
But what do you just when the ball comes to your feet and there's no one around you, you kind of just have to fall down or lose it for the referee to blow the whistle right there. I thought he should have blown the whistle anyway.
Absolutely.
Come on, Argentina, make it interesting.
Yeah, come on.
Can you imagine the headlines in the Argentinian papers tomorrow?
The sports writers there are banging away right now, with
Oh,
licking their lips.
Argentina have one of the oldest teams in the competition as well. Their average age is nearly 30.
That's maybe one of the quote unquote problems is when you have stars is when they start aging, you can't just leave them out and people forget all about it. They know the big names there, so you almost feel like your hands are tied. You have to bring them, you have to play them for better or worse. And here we can see maybe it's not really even suiting their style.
Yeah, and I think like when it comes to like this stage of the match as well, this is when fitness is key. Dybala.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is when fitness is key, and if you have kind of aging players, they're not going to be at their most effective, 70 minutes plus into the game.
Unless they're been training with the Russian team and can run for days, apparently.
Yeah. Have they still sent in those urine samples after, or
still waiting on the results?
Are they still on the post? Are they? Yeah.
unfortunately, those won't be out till the tournament's over.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But I've seen Rocky IV, so I got a pretty good understanding of how those things work. I think I know what they're up to.
Apparently Lance Armstrong was one of their advisors.
Yeah, Exactly.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
I'm actually a little surprised that Croatia isn't trying to just possess it a little bit more and knock it around that they are. But maybe they're just going for the knockout punch, you know?
Yeah, why need 3 games to get to the knockout stages when you can get there in 2, right?
Yeah. In fairness, I like the way that Croatia are not sitting back.
I know, I love it, but I'm surprised.
Yeah, so am I, exactly. I'm surprised they're going for it, but it kind of shows like that they're playing with confidence. And when you look at Argentina, you just see players there and they're like, oh, what do I do here? What's going on?
What this result if it holds like this, will do though is now all of a sudden.
What's going to happen?
Now all of a sudden, Iceland is the team that's playing for the 2nd spot.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Beastly by Mandzukic.
Oh.
Caballeros
Okay,
come
get
out.
the back, get the back of the
post.
line.
Back post. Oh, that was a bit selfish.
Yeah, he should. That's terrible defending. Straight back to him.
Strong stuff from Mandzukic, though, to get freed up on the right wing.
Oh.
Oh, whoa. Leo.
Some frustration.
Marcus is loving it. Oh, there's a little extra in there.
Handbags, right, go on.
Handbags.
Yeah. Right, in the box. Look, out wide.
It's just, I mean, that's a wishful ball right there.
Yeah. There's no one there, though.
Messi's already walking around the top of the 18. Look at him, far left side of the screen. He's not even moving.
Do you buy that criticism of him that he walks too much? What do you think about that?
No, I mean he's explosive, so I'm okay. But I'm already looking at his body language, you know, and that foul he suffered a moment ago, and frustration throwing the legs down of the Croatian player. Like, what's that? That's just a hopeful ball. You did that when you were 15. Just serve it in. Serve it in. Someone's going to be there. The jacket's off.
Ooh, he's rocking a few tats. Yeah, he's rocking a few tats.
The sleeves are out.
Yeah, the sleeves are out, yeah.
When your star player has that kind of body language or they're being demonstrative in a negative way, does that carry over to the rest of the team, or are you just worried about him personally?
I think how can it not carry over to the rest of the team? He's supposed to be their leader, right? Or one of their leaders.
Supposed to be.
Supposed to be one of their leaders, yeah. Is a difference between the frustration of demanding better from your guys and body language that is, in essence, putting them down without saying anything, right?
Being defeated about it.
Yeah.
The other question is like that: are we actually surprised by this performance by Argentina? Like, if you look at it, I said it before, I'll say it again, they lost 5 of their games during the qualification. Croatia didn't lose a game in the qualification to the World Cup. They are a team in form. In fairness, they did lose to Brazil in a friendly a couple of weeks ago, but again, that was like a non-kind of competitive match.
I'm only surprised from the sense that I really thought that Messi would be putting Argentina on his shoulders and saying, here we go, come on, I can do this for us.
You were expecting what we've seen with Ronaldo in Portugal.
Exactly.
Messi to also do.
Well, yeah.
People are upset.
What's going on here? Did they play on with that?
No, I think he's going to VAR. Is he? No.
Oh boy.
Officer says Croatia can be a good attacking side. They absolutely can, yeah.
Another question related to that I got is if Croatia wins this game, are they now considered legitimate tournament contenders?
Well, what did I say to you before?
You said Croatia was your dark horse.
Yes, and they were 33-1 to win the World Cup.
So you're saying it was worth a little gamble earlier on.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of gambling, okay, I mean, I think, or before the tournament, I agreed with Mark, I thought Brazil would win. But they were like 4-1 or 9-2, like the odds weren't great. But if I look at, you know, like a value bet, it would have been Croatia before because the odds were so big.
Croatia, Belgium.
But I wonder what the odds now on Croatia are right now.
was that? Shades of, was it 98? Davor Suker?
Suker, yeah.
That's right, yeah. They finished third in 1998.
Third, they finished third, yeah.
I thought we were going to get a long video replay controversy, but spared us.
I mean, if Argentina starts to do that for the final quarter of an hour where they're just going to bypass the midfield and just try and go route one and lump it long, Croatia will sit back there and defend that all day,
Yeah,
I think.
Argentina might as well just book their plane tickets home already.
Yeah.
Spain are the new favourites to win the World Cup. Brazil are second. Croatia are eighth favourites now.
Brazil, another team where maybe Neymar is kind of becoming a little bit of an issue, where you need him to lead or play differently, or you expect too much of him, the way Messi sort of has that responsibility and didn't deliver in the first game.
Yeah, I think the thing with Brazil is that they have a player in every position that is world class. I don't think Argentina do have. So even if Neymar is not fully fit, he's not playing, they have someone in to replace him.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Oh, yeah.
Caballero isn't making your dream team.
He's not he's not going to be in the Golden Glove contenders anyway, I don't think.
No, I'll take a lot of other goalkeepers before I would take Caballero.
Karius.
Like
Too soon. Still too soon. I'm telling you, it's still too soon. Until we get going again, it's always too soon for me. Wow.
Yeah, he fouled him.
see, like something like that. Does he already have a yellow?
I don't think he does, but you can tell that he thought one was coming with making sure the guy was all right.
All right, who's helping him? Look at all the dark jerseys in the picture.
Not enough bodies.
What's that? I mean, come on. What is that?
A good comment I've seen is Argentina have such a colossal void between defense and attack.
It's true.
It's all gone horribly wrong. I mean, you see it. Even when they do successfully bypass, you get those moments where all of a sudden it's one Argentinian player with the ball and he has no support up there. You got there too soon. It's all about timing.
Uh-oh. Now they're just diving in.
Boy.
I feel another
here we
Croatia
go.
goal coming.
The more this game goes on, the more I kind of can't shake the feeling that we're watching a good
Messi's-
team play against 11 good players. I know it's kind of an old cliche, but
Not even 11 good players, though.
hey. Well, there was a few subs. I figure between the 14, we got 11 good ones out there.
Modric. Ooh. He's going for it.
Oh, Modric! You beauty. Wow.
That was an incredible goal.
Incredible goal, but
Called it from the
awful
beginning.
defending.
Oh,
Awful
shocking.
defending.
Shocking defending.
Wow.
Sure, just give him like 3 or 4 yards of space. Just stand back there at the top
Yeah.
of the 18.
He's not a very good player, is he? Who's this guy?
Yeah.
Oh, Messi.
Yeah, you kind of feel bad.
I don't know if Caballero could have done much better on that. That was a brilliant shot.
Yeah, I think Mark was right with the defending there. It was just standing off, not actually going for the player, giving him too much space. Oh, man, that's just not good enough.
A lot of long faces for Argentina.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
I mean, Argentina could theoretically go out right now.
How does that work then? So
They have to play Nigeria in their
yeah,
last game.
and Iceland play against Croatia.
But if Iceland win, it's a great finish. But again, look at the defending.
Yeah. That's Otamendi as well, like Manchester City.
Wow.
Oh, a great look right there.
Yeah.
Beautiful. And the way there was nothing nervous about that, right? First he went inside, saw it wasn't on, and then he came back. You know, that's a class player who really knows exactly what he's doing.
It
and
just
executes.
shows his confidence, though, on the ball as well. As you said, like he had an opportunity to shoot before that. He said, "No, I'm not going to shoot now." He found out a better chance and an opportunity, and he just took it. Brilliant.
think it speaks kind of to Croatia's defense as well, because Argentina hasn't had a single chance like that. They haven't had a look to even get a shot off like that.
Exactly.
No, they've hunted in packs, as they say. Whenever the Argentinian players are anywhere near the top of the 18, all of a sudden you see just a collection of defenders come around the ball. Yeah, not to take anything away from Modric there. Excellent finish, but you can't give a guy like that much time on the ball.
You have to know who he is. You have to know what he can do and take that away and make someone else do something great. Oof.
Yeah, you should have a midfielder coming back pressing to try and force the ball away, and Otamendi stepping right up on him.
Oh, he looks like he's tearing up.
Must have had some tacos the other day with Mr. Mask over here.
I don't think I'm ever going to live that down, actually, am I?
Oh, never.
No, you know how you live it down? You go for round 2 today, and then you just...
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll probably be in hospital after the spice.
Where
do you not like spicy?
No.
Oh, really?
No.
So I have a feeling it was mild.
No.
And I have a feeling it wasn't too spicy.
Do you know, I think Sevi actually went in behind the counter and put an extra bit of pepper and spice.
No, I gave him an extra 20. I said, hey, make this guy feel it. Yeah.
Welcome to America.
Yeah, exactly.
Alpha Sound says, don't do Taco Bells.
Yeah.
It's awful, apparently. Is that right? Or is
Yes.
Hey, it depends how many Guinnesses you've had late at night.
Okay,
You know?
all right,
Exactly.
okay.
Hit the drive.
You could do a lot worse at 1 in the morning.
That's
or
right.
so.
That's right. Who doesn't like a Baja steak gordita?
Yeah.
Type
3 o'clock in the morning.
Type that one into Google Translate, but I don't know what's going to come through on the other
really?
side.
Yeah.
That's.
I'll have to delete my history again.
Again.
Yeah.
That old trick.
Let's go incognito on
Google. They can't even win the ball back.
We definitely might see a red card.
Oh, yeah.
Like Mascherano.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Just studs up.
Yeah. Even-tempered Mascherano, yeah.
Apparently he's gone to his boyhood club in China.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I would dream to always play for Guang.
Apparently they pay well over there as well.
Really?
No.
Yeah, for big play. Oh, okay.
Ooh.
Yep.
He's just going for the prestige, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, here we go.
Now it's
Otamendi.
Does Otamendi already have a yellow?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Well, he does now.
Yeah. I think it's only Mercado had one.
If I was the Croatian players, I'd just step away.
Yeah, don't even risk anything. You're fine.
You're good now, lads. You're good.
But this trick right here.
Oh, now that's nasty. That is nasty. Even though his haircut is terrible.
You thought he was maybe doing him a favor if he took a little off the top.
Yeah, but you know, Eastern European. When he's got a bunch of product in there, he's doing just fine.
I reckon he was. He has the same barber as Neymar.
Oh. How does their hair stay intact the entire game though? Like
Product.
they just have crazy strong product.
Yeah.
Kevin, you gotta step your game up with the product. There's a lot that can be done nowadays.
Falls flat after an hour.
Shape, circumference, a lot of things we gotta change over there on the haircut.
I have a feeling, behind closed doors, Kev's like a boy band superstar.
Oh yeah.
Look at that.
Never know.
NSYNC super
I
fun.
gotta- It's actually dangerously close to the truth.
Oh.
You were in a ska band though, weren't you?
Don't say that out loud.
Okay, right.
Do they slam the nail in the coffin right here?
Oh man.
That would be hurtful.
Here we go.
Another Caballero mistake.
Top corner.
He spills it. Spills a loose rebound, and they just blast it.
Mandzukic, yeah.
Blast
Puts
it
the
home.
boot through.
Yeah, it is pretty bad haircut. Yeah.
Here's I'll do this free kick and then we'll do a question.
Second ball.
Oh! Wow. That's a great free kick.
Here's a really good question, actually. Do you think the gap between European football and South American football is being shown in this World Cup?
I know UEFA's they've done really well with most of their matches.
Yes. Through the first round of matches, wasn't Germany the only team to lose?
And I got a feeling they might rebound for a couple.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, one thing too is that a couple of the, couple, but like teams like Chile didn't even make the tournament.
Yeah.
So some teams that are
True.
you would think are one of the better South American teams aren't even competing. So if you're looking at Panama versus
sure, but you can use that argument like Holland didn't make the tournament. So
Yeah.
But I think it's cyclic, right? Football, soccer is cyclic. You know, countries, regions have upticks and downticks. I think the Europe, you know, like look at France, right? They're having a resurgence.
Absolutely.
Whereas we're seeing Argentina, they're definitely having a dip.
Yeah, big time. The thing with France is, I think there's so many egos in the squad. I think the most important person in that kind of team is their manager, is Deschamps, because I think if he can control the players, because they have that ability in nearly every single position, then they can do damage.
I'll tell you what, though, for a team that talented, I'd like to see him win games by more than one goal.
Oh, agree.
I think they got to show it a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, they were disappointing against Australia.
If I keep taking them -1.5.
Oh.
I'm looking for value here. Value picks, Matt.
Oh, this is what we're all about. Like.
I can't.
We don't want to go for the odds.
I can't put anything on like -420. You know?
I need to pay my mortgage. Come on now.
I can tell you, it's only 3-1 that Sampaoli starts openly smoking before the game is over.
Yeah, right.
So maybe that's the smart play.
Max says, I wouldn't say it shows the gap between South America and Europe. It shows how much a passionate team can do against a laid-back tournament favourite. Interesting.
And a solid grouping of players, I think you said it, Sevi, can do against a group of individuals. I don't know, like before they got the second goal for Croatia, did we see one cutaway of Messi clapping and into his team like, come on, let's go. You don't see any of
no cohesion.
Let alone anybody. Anybody. You don't see anybody in an Argentinian jersey doing that.
It just kind of reeks of disorganization and just...
Like I said, I think it's just when your goalkeeper makes a blunder like that, it's tough to recover. Here comes
Here comes number 3. Gone down. Wow. I don't know if he meant to find him, but... I'm surprised when he beat his man on the wing there, I thought he was going to take a little tumble.
He kind of dived in, though. He kind of went forward too much. Oh, look at that for a finish.
This is good because you can almost see how far he starts it outside the post.
Yeah.
That was great.
Sevi, that's a little drawing 5-iron right there.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Low draw, low draw.
Low draw. I mean, is Messi even in the team for the last game? Like, you know, now what's going to happen? I mean, it depends on tomorrow's result, of course.
I think he has to be. I mean, unless he's injured and we're not kind of hearing the full story. It's kind of like Salah. You know, he was definitely not 100% fit.
Sure, he didn't look fit at all.
So, I don't know.
But if he was fit enough to go 90-plus minutes in their second game for Egypt, how do you not play him at all in the first game? That's what I will never understand. It's the World Cup. You had to have some. And
what changed in 3 days?
And considering the opponent, you had to have something out of that first game. Finish.
Oh, that is incredible defending. Vida again.
Vida. I don't remember this in Die Hard. I thought it ended with the good guys winning. I don't recall this, but
he's nearly the player of the match so far.
You're going to take it away from Mr. Modric?
I mean, in terms of effectiveness.
You mean take it away from Willy Caballero?
Yeah. Great assist there.
Yeah.
What was that?
He's clearly just not very good with his
They might get chipped.
Do it.
Wow.
Do it.
Oh, look.
Hurry.
Come on. Yeah, the wing. Loads of space.
If you're going to go down, go down.
No,
Vida!
Oh.
Is he off?
Oh, Argentina's given up entirely.
Oh,
what are you doing?
No.
Oh, fuck. That is just...
Embarrassing.
That's embarrassing.
Embarrassing. Edge of the box.
Argentina lucky there isn't more time because this feels like Germany and Brazil 4 years ago, right?
Oh, here we go.
Oh, little kid is crying. That is But, like, come on. Okay, you're 2-0 down. There's 2 minutes left. You don't just look at the player. You don't just stand there and not do anything.
Cone drill right there.
Come on. Mascherano, man.
Pretty sharp stuff from Croatia, too.
Fantastic play by Croatia. Give them a lot of credit.
Wow.
What it? Oh.
Maradona.
What is Icardi thinking right now?
Icardi?
Yeah.
Oh, he's probably
Is
seething.
he
He's
steaming?
seething.
Or does he have a little smirk because
I think
he's
he's
like,
smirking. I think
he's like...
He could, no, in fairness though, he could be around at Messi's missus. Is this house.
if the rumors are true, that's his MO. Wow, look at this. Just.
Oh, God. R.I.P. Argentina, yeah.
I had them winning it all.
Did you?
So there goes.
No.
You want to change that?
Before everything.
Would you
Right. But in a bracket, yeah.
Yeah, no.
Would you like to change that? I'm just curious.
I would love to. After a recent change of events.
Wow.
Huge for Croatia.
Yeah.
Well, whoever said it had 0-0 written all over it in the first half to us in the comments was...
They're not here anymore, they're gone.
Yeah.
Didn't someone call it 3-1? Did someone say 3-1 Argentina?
I said 2-1 Argentina. I said 2-1.
We all said it.
I said 2-2, so I got
Trying to
it
help you
completely
guys
wrong.
all out here, trying to get someone some love, but man, 3-0 Croatia. Huge too if they can top the group and avoid what is it, France in the next round, right? This is Group D, so they'd be playing the winner of the France, Denmark, Australia, Peru group. So that would be. I mean, as much as we said France is maybe a little underperforming, you don't want to play them.
Play Denmark than France.
Exactly.
Well, that's not a foregone conclusion either, though, right?
Mm-hmm.
I would say they could end up playing against probably Denmark. And you'd fancy them against Denmark.
Denmark or Australia are still alive, right?
True. Peru's out.
Yeah, Australia are
hanging on by a thread.
yeah, they're not great. I mean, they don't have a lot of quality around the pitch.
Jednak keeps scoring penalties for
Yeah,
them.
fair play to him. Yeah, like
goal
he's doing
man.
very, very well. But they have a guy who plays for Celtic as well, Rogic, who's one of their top players. But again, if he was anyway decent, if he was kind of world class, he wouldn't be playing with Celtic. And no disrespect to Celtic fans, but if you're relying on those kind of players, you're not competing on this level here with
Must have
Croatia.
a large following of Rangers fans.
Yeah. Love their manager though. Great manager, Rangers got.
Steven Gerrard, yeah. I mean, what do you make of that actually? Gerrard as manager.
I didn't even know that, really.
Yeah. He
It
managed
must be
Rangers.
recent, right?
Yeah, just a few weeks ago. I thought it was a strange move, to be honest.
It's a risk. It's definitely a risk, but I mean, it's definitely going to create a lot more interest in that league. I think he'll be able to attract a lot more players to Rangers, and ultimately, I think he'll be a little bit more competitive than it has been over the past couple of years, where Celtic have won 7 out of 7 league titles.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, I think for Rangers, great. You bring someone high profile,
Yeah.
even if it's just bringing some sort of recognition rather than any sort of tactical genius.
Yeah.
Considering they're almost went into administration a few years ago,
They-
anything you can do is
Yeah.
great, is positive. So I think it's great for them.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at some of the stats on this one and the moratorium on
I have
Argentina.
a feeling it's going to be kind of lopsided, a little one-way traffic here.
It should be interesting to see how Argentina play, though. Let's expose them, Sevi. Let's expose them.
We'll start just with some of the team stats. What jumps out at you, Mask? What surprises you?
Well, I mean, they made around 215 less passes than the game against Iceland.
Yeah.
So again, it kind of goes to show like that, when they got the ball, they weren't being effective with it.
Even still, like the disparity of passes between Argentina and Croatia is.
I know, but in terms of like Argentina, their kind of game plan is kind of like the Barcelona kind of style to get the ball.
They
1,
need
2.
700 plus passes
Yeah,
a
exactly.
game. That a lot of touches.
It's kind of like how Spain play as well.
A little death by football type.
Yeah.
Maybe there's some sort of cause for concern to only get 60 passes in the final third, not really being able to enter the box at all and connect meaningfully.
Yeah, I suppose. I mean,
Well, what about 3 lines below it? Accurate crosses. So, if they were trying to get the ball, 16 crosses, but only 1 accurate, right? You're trying to get the ball at least. I said they were hitting crosses without a purpose, right? They were hopeful balls.
16 attempted, 1 accurate.
Yeah.
If that's your plan.
Yeah.
Terrible plan. Get a new one.
Which is not. I think you would
Yeah.
agree, not part of their game plan.
No.
That's not what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
if you're trying to pinpoint guys you know, Aguero making runs into the 18, or when Higuain came in. That one accurate one was the one chance they had with Higuain when he came and got to the byline and shuffled it. It was like their best chance of the second half.
Absolutely.
But what they were doing a lot of the time was they were putting the ball into the box. They were crossing into the box. Now, this is before Higuain was actually on the pitch, to the likes of Aguero, who's tiny compared to the Croatian defenders. It's kind of like, why are you doing that?
Right.
You know,
aerial game is not their strength.
Exactly.
No.
I think there was one occasion when Higuain got to the byline and passed it in, but that was on the ground. And that's where, you know, Argentina are a lot more comfortable on the ball.
Absolutely. Why don't you pick out a player for Argentina? I'll pick one for Croatia here, and we can compare.
Okay, let's go for
All right.
the main man himself.
All right, I'll go for my main man. Kevin's main man.
Oh, yeah, Modric. Yeah,
man.
okay, yeah.
The man.
Okay, so only one attempt on goal for Messi. Again, I think he had one attempt on goal versus Iceland.
Two, I think it was two.
Or was it two?
One was blocked and one was a miss.
Like, you know, again, for the likes of Messi, this is just
3 shots in 2 games. I mean, we saw he led La Liga in attempts. You know, he's not. You're not going to look at his conversion rate and be blown away. But he's a big volume guy. He takes a lot of shots. That's fine. He gets the goals. He hasn't even taken the shots here.
Another thing here that stands out is, especially with the versus Modric, is 75% successful pass rate. You'd normally see that around 90% for Messi, but Modric getting an 86%. Again, he played very, very well.
And Modric did a lot of that damage, obviously, in the second half. So
Absolutely.
we were asking the stars to come alive in the second half when we discussed this at halftime. Messi did not. Modric did.
Absolutely. Should we look at some of the match analysis? Maybe start with the average positions. We can sort of see how that changed.
I suppose you can see for Croatia, they were trying to block out any attack going down the middle, and you can see them being very, very active in the centre of the park. Another thing I've kind of noticed here as well is that they're playing quite deep. And again, the wing backs were trying to come into play.
And when the substitutes came on, you need a goal. You're desperate. You bring in a goal. And how much further up the field do you get? Not that much. Did the subs really make that much of a meaningful impact?
No.
From their average position, it doesn't look like they got any closer.
Hey, like Mask said, Higuain had that one sequence where he got in and close to the goal and delivered a good ball to the near post. But other than that, no. But it goes back to what we were talking about during the second half of a collective group of individuals versus a team.
A team.
And that's the difference here.
Exactly, yeah.
Possession. Argentina grew slightly in the second half. I think in the first half it was at 54. And then you can see once we went to the second half, it was 60% there. So they did get a little more of the ball, but they just couldn't convert. They couldn't do a whole lot with it, it seemed. And let's look at their attacking zones, which I know we wanted to see in half by half. So maybe let's start with Argentina in the first half. And as we saw, we remember it was 51%, a lot forcing down that side. Aguero really drifting wide, Messi leaning towards that way. And in the second half?
They got more down the middle and took it away from that left-hand side. But still, you know,
not enough.
And let's remember, even if they were coming down the middle, we showed Croatia's positioning and how they were positioned. If you looked at probably a collective group heat map of the back four and the midfield, that whole area was just clogged up.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think one kind of positive note from this is in the first half it was going down the left-hand side. It wasn't working. So they said, right, we need to change it up a bit. They put it down the middle a little bit more. But as we saw with Croatia, that's where they knew that they were going to go, and that's where they were on the pitch to stop them.
Whose pass map you want to see? What player do you guys have your eye on that you really want to see in post now and see what they're able to do? Maybe a Rakitic or?
I was going to say Rakitic.
Let's go to. I mean,
that's hieroglyphics.
Yeah, that's difficult to read. So in the second half, you want to see over the whole match, 36 passes. That was a bit better. Just the one chance created, other than, of course, the goal he scored at the end.
But I mean, was that so? The left-hand side is his first half action.
So I can give you his first half. This is all first half here.
Okay. Okay.
And now I can give you the second half. So a couple more passes. Not too many giveaways.
But most of it here is originating from the central midfield and going forward, where he was starting a little deeper in the first half and not penetrating. He only had 1 or 2 passes that were in the final attacking third. I think Modric is probably the man of the match for me.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to look past him, I suppose, really.
And he really picked it up in the second half. Remember, we were looking at the first half where he said only 16 passes, 11-3, okay. But then in the second half, 21 alone, and a lot more successful as well. And you can see the positive, a little bit longer, a little bit more purposeful.
The most influential one would probably be the one he didn't pass, obviously, too, right? To give them the insurance goal.
Absolutely.
And make it 2-0.
Absolutely. Comfortable shooting from deep, certainly not afraid to have a go. Well, who can blame him after that goal he scored? Croatia on the whole, how many shots do they have? 10?
Yeah.
There's 4 others that are right there, too.
Yeah.
Saved, and there's 3 that just missed wide.
I mean, that's what Argentina was lacking. Look at all these shots that came from inside the box, that came from good positions to score. You know, maybe there's a bit of traffic, but I feel like Argentina weren't even getting to those looks. They had that one Messi run, and other than that, you know, Aguero had a turn, but he was off balance. I think that was his last touch of the game.
Yeah, it was.
I think that kind of goes to show as well, like that Croatia were, you know, they had the ability to kind of take a shot, whereas with Argentina, it just seemed as though they were trying to walk the ball into the goal.
I mean, it's all coming from pretty much one spot.
The same spot.
And, I mean, if you think about it, did the Croatian keeper have to make any terribly difficult saves?
They were all weakly
It was the
hit
one,
or right at
well, the one chance at the near post that they had in the second half.
Yeah.
Other than that, that was it.
One thing I was actually really impressed by Croatia here was the amount of blocks, last-minute interceptions.
Vida,
that they made.
Yeah.
So that made life a lot easier for Subasic. But they put their body on the line, you know.
It's a bit, I don't want to call it easy because of course it's a difficult thing, but when all the shots are coming from really the same left channel there, you can shade a little bit that way defensively. You're already leaning that direction. You don't feel like, oh, am I going to go left? Am I going to go right? Yeah. The keeper can kind of get set, protect his post. It's a little bit easier to make that stop rather than if there's more diversity of where the ball is shooting or if they're doing quick switching in the box, because then you have to be moving and there's more likely that someone forgets to close down a little bit of 1 yard space where all of a sudden there's a nice angle to shoot through. Mm-hmm. It's just not enough.
You never sense that killer instinct. You never sense that, hey, Argentina's what, 5th in the world? Croatia's like 30th or something like that?
I think Croatia are a little bit higher.
Are they?
Yeah, a little bit higher.
A little higher, but it doesn't matter.
It's Argentina.
No,
it's Argentina.
Play like you're that team.
Of course, yeah.
Final thoughts on this? What's the big takeaway? We're going forward. I mean, I guess it's a bit of sit and wait for Argentina right now, but assuming they're still in the tournament come next third group game, what do you do? How do you respond?
You know that Argentina is only going to go as far as Messi is going to perform and take the team. Yeah, they have other players who they need to be influential and they need to play really well in this tournament. But if you have a 1 to 10 scale and over 2 games you're saying you need Messi to perform at a 9, or obviously a 10 would be ideal, but an 8 or higher, I don't think he's even gotten to that.
My kind of worry, I think, for Argentina right now is that they're going to play against Nigeria in the next game, and I think they might fall against Nigeria again, because I think looking at how they were playing there, looking at the kind of mentality that they had, I don't know, I just think they've lost it. I think they're gone. I really do.
The ship is sinking a bit.
I really do, yeah.
Well, and Nigeria is a young Nigerian team, obviously a very athletic Nigerian team.
Exactly.
You look at the back line of Argentina, and I mean how Croatia was exploiting and finding gaps. Nigeria is going to be running at them, and even if Argentina gets pressed up high at all, that ball over the top is going to be on all day to try and exploit and get in behind and create open opportunities. I can tell you one thing: I know Caballero's not going to be in goal.
No,
I know he's not going to be in goal.
Kev?
I think we've been talking a lot about Messi just not kind of stepping up, but even more than that, we're talking again how it's not it's a team game, not an 11-man game.
Yep.
And even if he steps up, I think the rest of the team just isn't there. Like he's going to make his little cuts inside, he's going to do his thing, but he's not going to have anyone to make that final run for him to get the ball to, or to take pressure off of him. So I think, regardless of how he plays, I just don't think the rest of the team is there for them to really do anything.
Yeah.
So
they have played Nigeria a few times in a recent World Cup, so maybe that little sense of familiarity in terms of getting a result, maybe they draw some positive for that for me, but it might be over by the time that game even kicks off. So a lot of drama still going on in the World Cup.
We have to wait and see what happens tomorrow
between
Iceland and Nigeria, right? Because if those two teams happen to draw, then Croatia has it locked up as the top team with 6 points coming out of the group. No way anybody can catch them. Yeah. And who does Croatia then play when they play Iceland to finish? Like, maybe they rest a few people knowing they've already got the 6 points and they're going through as a first place team. What happens?
Yeah, I think Iceland are probably the kind of favourites now to finish second position in the table. So I don't know. I
got to say the gods are a bit cruel, because every Argentinian, anytime their team plays, their stomachs are already a whole mess of nerves, and now they have to watch an Iceland game and go through the same experience all over again, not knowing how it's going to affect their future. And their team going forward. So
Messi's going to be thrown up again before these matches.
Well, he's used to it by now. He's fine. But thanks a lot, guys, for joining me today. Had a lot of fun. Always a good game watching Argentina win or lose. You guys got questions, comments, concerns, love or hate, hit us up on our social and stay tuned to see when our next match is. That's it for us today. I'm Sevi Sanchez, and remember, if you're watching this, you are the convention.